Hello. What is going on, chat? What's up, Jason? How we doing, guys? Guys, today we're doing a special stream. We are going to be raising funds and awareness for this rally against fascism movement. Tomorrow, we're going to have people marching on, at National Mall, Washington, D.C. We have a lot of creators involved, including Matt, Angry Veteran, Laney, Gunny, Tom, Izzy, Chris G, Dr. Jace, and others are all supporting it. I'll let more people get in here before I talk about it some more, but we are trying to raise some money today, chat, for the fight against fascism and the erasure of marginalized communities, especially the LGBTQ in the military. I think it is a wonderful cause. I think it is a much needed thing to raise awareness about. We've had so many things in the news cycle recently. It's hard to pick and choose what to be upset about, but I think this is a noble cause. What's up, Bacon? What's going on, guys? I was asked last week to help do this, and I was all about it. RJ, don't you dare say that. I did pass you in followers, dude. How did I do that? I just clicked on your name to brag about that you have more followers, but I passed you up, RJ. Why'd you let me do that, dude? RJ, I love you, bub. Dude, I'm looking for people to come up here and advocate with me, RJ. I would love if you wanted to come hang out. We still haven't done a live. Yeah, I know. You've got a job, you got kids. Ah, hello? Hey, what's up? Guys, we have Felice joining us too. We have Felice fucking joining us, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I muted myself on purpose, guys. I had a phone call real quick. She just called me. Gotta go feed 600 patients in a few minutes. Holy moly cow. Chat panicked, yeah. Oh, guys, I'm still waking up too. I was up till like 5 or 6 this morning. I couldn't sleep. As you guys know, there's like a lot of drama going on right now. So just trying to keep up with it, trying to stay informed, trying to keep up with the fucking Signal chat with 30 creators inside of it. It's been crazy. What's going on, chat? Yes, we have Felice coming. Let's fucking go. She'll be here in a few minutes. She's a few minutes from home. So, Signal Gate 3.0. Yeah, right. What up, everyday players? Howdy doody, Robert. What's up, Argent? What's up, RJ? Dude, W to the Canada Liberals. That actually made me feel good. That made me feel real good. I saw that, Kristen. I saw that. Canada beating the US again. Ugh. Dude, I just saw a headline. I have to read the the news or the whole article, but apparently the White House called Amazon, I forgot the words they used, but they called them like I might as well have called them like a T group for saying that they're going to make the tariffs visible on your Amazon checkout. Like they'll break out the price of the tariffs. Like why what kind of country do we live in now? Where we have the White House threatening private companies that are showing transparency. Bezos backed down on it. Politically aggressive. Yeah. Someone says you're lying. The hell? Caroline said that. Let's bring it up. Oh my god, come back. Trump complained to Bezos before Amazon said it scrapped the idea to display tariff costs. How do y'all feel about that, Trumpers? How do y'all feel about that? White House slammed Amazon for reportedly planning to display the cost of President Donald Trump's tariff next to the total price of products on its site. How's that make you feel? Yeah, the Führer didn't like that very much. They're only placing it because of Trump? They're only placing the tariffs because of Trump. I didn't say they called them a T group. I said they essentially could have. I forgot the words they used, but I didn't say that was verbatim. No one cares. Of course, y'all don't care. You guys just lay on your belly and take it. You guys just lay on your belly and you say, "Give it to me, daddy." Donald Trump personally called Amazon founder Jeff Bezos on Tuesday to complain about a report the online retail giant was considering displaying U.S. tariff costs on its product listings. A source familiar with the matter told NBC News. Within hours of the call, Amazon publicly downplayed the scope of its plan and announced that it had been scrapped recently or entirely. Oh my goodness. Was hostile and political. That's pretty much what a T group is. She holds up a photo. Where's the clip? Howard Lucknitz's good move. And then Amazon said it was never under consideration to display the cost of tariffs of products on its main website. How does like what kind of world do we live in right now? I would love to see the price of the tariffs. Yeah, Amazon caved. Oof. Timu does it now too. Yeah. Guys, today we are doing a special event. Guys, put some taps on the screen. We are raising funds for the rally against fascism. I'm gonna make this big real quick. And we should have somebody joining us soon. But this is for honoring and preserving our military, and I'll also bring up the website. But this is led by a bunch of our creators here on TikTok: Matt, Laney, Gunny, Tom, Izzy, Chris G, Jace. If you guys know Angry Veteran, um, basically it's about the erasure of the LGBTQ and other marginalized communities from the military. As we all know, Trump has arbitrarily uh, went through all of the archives and have put in search phrases and terms such as the word gay and have ordered people to delete them from our history. Like the most blatant tenet of fascism, the most blatant attempt at pushing us towards fascism that I've seen recently. Absolutely disgusting. The only thing that stands close to this is watching the Smithsonian change its exhibits and remove things in an efforts to avoid to avoid or I guess in conjunction with Trump's efforts. Yeah, whitewashing, yes. I can't see the comments. Guys, your comments don't matter. This is what matters, baby. Gas up's 30 cents overnight in Indiana. Good to know, good to know. Let's go do this too. This is what matters. The rally is a powerful call to action against fascism, the current administration's efforts to erase marginalized veterans from history. LGBTQ plus people, disabled individuals, and people of color have served and sacrificed for our country. It's about resisting the forces and hatred of oppression, rejecting attempts to divide us, and taking a stand for the beauty of diversity, and something the government refuses to recognize and protect. And this makes me think of the Enola Gay, the famous airplane. What was that airplane used for? We all stand in solidarity with those whose voices have been silenced and whose dignity has been threatened. Not only veterans, but all of those who have been marginalized, persecuted, and denied their rights. The resilience reminds us that we must never allow history's darkest chapters to repeat, and we must continue to fight for the fair and equal treatment of all human beings. The atom bomb, yeah, the A bomb. Was this today? So no, this is okay. Yeah, so this is actually the live event for this is going to be happening tomorrow. So these people are, as far as I know, most of them are carpooling right now. It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The National Mall. Apparently, they're still trying to raise. It's around $3,000 was the goal, and I don't think that's too hard to hit. I don't think that's too hard to hit, guys. If y'all have like an extra dollar, extra $5, text veteran one to 53555 to donate. Please consider doing it before you send me gifts, before you send me anything. Please donate to this. This is what matters today. Lolo, much love. Chat, thank you so much for doing this. I signed up to do this on the 25th, 4 days ago. No, that's a lie. I signed up to do this on the 16th. Guys, all the days are running together. I can't wait till Fleece comes in here and saves me. I'm too tired for this. Ah, defends. Come in here. Hello. What's up,
Oh
lady?
my gosh, I can barely hear you from all the road noise, but I'm here.
Hello,
We're on
hello.
the road to DC.
Chat, if you don't know Lainey, Lainey is a veteran and part of the LGBTQ community, and this directly pertains to Lainey.
Yeah, sorry, I can barely hear you. So I am in the car with USMC Angry Veteran Matt. Holler at my ear, Matt. Hey. And we are we met up in Pennsylvania and just had lunch, and then we're heading down to DC to the Airbnb, and then we're going to be on the National Mall tomorrow at 11 a.m. So if you are in the area, I know there's going to be a lot of really cool speakers. Um, so we're going to have, I don't know the whole lineup actually, but I know that we're going to have people from a lot of different marginalized groups who are veterans. Um, because that's what this is all about. All of Trump's bullcrap um, about removing, any references to people of color, to women, to indigenous folks, to queer folks, like from anything to do with the federal government, and that includes the military. That he has fired like several admirals and generals who are women and people of color, um, and it's just a full assault on anyone who is not an able-bodied cishet white guy, um, and it's an insult to all of us from a diversity of backgrounds who took the same oath to support and defend the Constitution, and that we put we signed the line, we put on the uniform, and we've served honorably. And we deserve that same recognition that anyone else would get for that service. And we definitely deserve to not be erased from the history books. But we will have, I believe they said that they're going to have folks from, um, someone representing the Tuskegee Airmen, also Navajo Cold Talk or Wind Talkers, and of course a couple of us from the trans community, and just lots of like individual speakers representing their communities, as well as their branch of service and so forth. So we're excited to be doing it. It's At least we're definitely going to have some really nice weather tomorrow. So if you're in the area, please come down. It'll be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the National Mall. And if you can donate, Pickles had the poster up a little bit ago, but you can also go to fightagainstfascism.org, and all the info is there. And yeah, there is a way to donate via text. So you can text veteran1 to 53555. And that just helps to get the VA equipment and all of the accoutrement around that, as well as porta-johns, and the tabling equipment and things of that nature. So I believe it's. I actually don't know how much they've raised and how much they need left, but anything that y'all can throw that way would be amazing, and we appreciate the support so much.
Thank you, Lainey. Chat, I
It
also
is.
put the Cash App right here. It's info1 fight x fascism. And for those of you who actually want to verbally fight it, we have people in my YouTube chat that seem confused or think it's it's okay to do fascism so long as they think we're doing our own version of fascism on the left. So if you
That's
guys want
because they
somebody to
don't know what
verbally
fashion
talk to about, you guys can go to my YouTube, follow the link in my link tree to talk to them. They're insane. 2193 of 3K. Danny, did you want to come
Oh,
up?
is that how much is left?
Is that how much was left, or is that how much has been raised? Danny, you're welcome to try to
I
come
would
back up.
assume
I'm
that's
so
how much
sorry.
has been raised and how much they need left is the difference between the two of us, right? And if there is anybody else like Tom or anyone else who's a part of that's what's been raised. Okay, awesome. So we're not that far off.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
But if there is anybody else out there who is a part of it, who can come up and speak as well, that'd be awesome because I can barely hear y'all and I'm probably screaming.
Yeah, so Felice will be here soon, and we also have Chris G coming in just a second as well. Annie, thank you
Oh,
so much for
awesome.
all the gifts, by the way. Chat. Also, let's get some taps on the screen. Let's get to 30K. We're kind of having slow momentum at the beginning of this live for some reason. I know this isn't my usual format. I usually do debates, but yeah. Yo,
Thank you
what's
guys
up?
so much. This is my event, by the way. Thank you guys so much for putting this up. I was not expecting to see this live.
Absolutely.
um, yeah, it's gonna be a quite the event
And if
tomorrow.
somebody wants to get cooked, you could probably name it too.
Say again, Lenny.
What's that?
You said something I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said hi, Tom.
Oh, hey, I literally just got home from work and I'm getting everything together for waiting for Jasmine to get home and then we're gonna be heading out.
Love
Okay,
that.
yeah, I'm on the road with Matt right now.
Have you guys stretched? Have you guys eaten anything? Do you guys need anything?
Yeah, no, we just had lunch,
All right, good.
and we met up, somewhere in the middle of Pennsylvania, and had lunch, and now we're carpooling into DC.
Pennsylvania. That might. It
Yeah,
sounds like
we've
it's
already been
different for
cursing at Pennsylvania since we're here for like letting us down last November.
nice. Yeah, guys. We're $1,000 shy of having all our funds for Porter Johns. Our stage is paid for. We have our permits, so everything's good to go. We just that little bit left, and if everybody here, put $10 in the pot, man, we're that much closer.
Lauren says, "Stop by my house and scoop me up." I think this is my first time being on a panel with you, Tom. It's good to finally meet you.
Yeah, I mean, I try to stay away from too many debates because I get a little heated.
Yeah.
Then I'll start finding people's addresses. so, I'm not one of these people that I don't really tolerate too much crap from MAGA. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But education on these apps is free. People should really listen to the creators that educate and really listen to the marginalized people on this app, and you really learn something. People need to understand that it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to learn from your mistakes. Everybody votes. Everybody can make the mistake one time, right? I voted for Trump in 2016. Made that mistake. I just got out of the military, and I didn't really understand what I was voting for. Had people around me that was steering me in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? So I hope for one day that we can get MAGA out of their behinds and get them to a better place. But until then, We have to keep educating people. We have to keep, fighting fascism in all different ways. So one of those ways we have to get out there and we have to show people that we're not going to allow history to be erased. We can't allow marginalized folks that served in this military. We can't allow their legacies to leave history. That's a big thing.
Yeah, amen. Amen. Yeah, this is I think this is a very real thing happening, and there's a lot of people in the comments that are kind of downplaying the seriousness of this. And I think the erasure of any sort of our history is absolutely absurd. I would love for anybody to try to come up here and justify it. I know that you guys would probably prefer to just look the other way when this is happening, but this is very real, and real people and real communities are affected by this. And this is a blatant step towards fascism and authoritarianism and altering history as we know it.
Well, you got to think too, like they didn't want CRT to be taught, and then they tried to do that stuff in Florida with how certain people benefited from certain things. I'm not even gonna say it because it's just so disgusting. It's a rampant effect. One second we're saying, yeah, let's not talk about racism. The next second we're not allowed to even speak about racism. We're not even allowed to speak about race. We're not allowed to speak about diversity. Like what is that? Our country is built by diversity. We have a statue hanging out in freaking New York City. The Statue of Liberty. It's supposed to be welcoming people from all different parts of the world. They come to our country and feel welcomed. Yes, we have a past. We have a gruesome history, but we need to learn from that, just like Germany did.
Yep.
Germans learn from their history and they know not to repeat it.
Right, because if you try to pretend as though no one ever had to struggle with oppression in this country, then the generations to come won't know that it happened. And when you don't know that those things have happened, like you never like know what the consequences of those things are, right? And so people need to be able to hear these stories of how people overcame that diversity, um, or adversity, sorry, um, to to get to a place where we can get to a point where like we're not having oppressed classes in this country, because we're still not there. And some people would like to brush everything under the rug and pretend like we fixed everything already, and they don't see racism happening because they don't feel it, because it doesn't affect them, right? They don't see homophobia and transphobia. They don't even hear it when they say it out of their own mouths, because it doesn't harm them. And so they would just like to pretend that it doesn't exist. And the easiest way to pretend that it doesn't exist is to pretend that none of it ever existed in the first place. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to walk through life with my eyes closed, because that's how you bump into shit.
I like that.
My old town was so bigoted that even though I'm a white person, right? They thought I was, a person of color out in the woods, and they tried to unalive me.
God
And
damn.
I was friends with some of these people that were friends with them. You got what I'm saying? So like, I learned the hard way. I had to learn like in the worst way. I had MAGA almost take me out because they thought I was something that I wasn't, and then I'm coming back to the punk rock scene, and they're telling me, "Well, you voted for that." I'm like, "Huh? I thought the Democrats were racist." Like these are the things, like, like the manipulation. If you don't know, and you're easily, like, things can be pushed by you so easily, and then next thing you're wondering why things are happening, and then you're looking for answers, and then the answers are right in front of you. And I had to do all that deconstruction while fighting against fascism at the same time. And it was a sad wake up call for me. I had to make mistakes on the way too, like it was, I was holding myself accountable while seeking accountability, while learning about what I was fighting for. And here we are.
Can we do another round of reminding everybody what this live is about?
Yeah, everybody, I do need to make a better title here. But guys, this live is about the rally against fascism, honoring, preserving our military history. We have some people marching on the Capitol tomorrow. We are raising. We're only like $1,000 away from our goal. This pays for their tables, their porta potties, and just their water and some other stuff, maybe travel fees. But this is about the erasure of marginalized groups and the LGBTQ from our military history. As some of us know, some of us who read the news know that Trump and his administration has blatantly and openly gone through military archives and our history and have ordered the deletion and the erasure of certain marginalized communities and the LGBTQ from history. This is very real and disgusting. And I can't believe you guys can look the other way and say this is nothing, this is no big deal, that this isn't fascism. This is 100% fascism, undeniable. I dare you to come up and justify this. But please, before you send me any gifts or any donations today, please text veteran1 to 53555 to donate, or use this Cash App at the top of the screen, info1 fight x fascism, to donate. If just $1, just $5, anything small, rather than having a cup of coffee today, do this. It's going to a good cause.
And we have plenty of fabulous speakers, including Harry Dunn, that was treated very patriotically at the Capitol on January 6th. I'm trying to use a word.
Hey, Pickles.
What's up?
Do you think the left, the influencers are creating a smaller and smaller tight-knit clique and throwing out and canceling out most of the Democratic voters and pushing them to the right?
No, I don't know. Do you want to talk about this instead?
What's this? The veterans?
Yeah. How do you feel about Trump erasing LGBTQ and marginalized communities from the history of the military?
I think the LGBTQ plus has a crazy unalive rate in the military, and it's probably for their best interest.
It's for their best interest for them to be erased from the history of it?
Do you realize they have the highest commit of suicide in the military?
That has nothing to do with the erasure of their history. Do you think we should erase their history because of that?
What is their history?
Yo, listen, if you're going to talk like that, at least show your face, bro. At least show everybody what you look like.
Bro, I got a profile, and trust me, I talk like that.
How about you talk like that?
And so you're canceling me out. This is exactly why you guys are pushing your voters away, because a lot of people don't agree with everything you say.
People are pushing your vote away. We don't need their vote, bro. We don't need people
like
that.
No, trust me, and you guys won't ever get my vote.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, stay on topic, Matt. Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's justified? In what world, no matter what the sewer slide rate is, do you think that's helping when we erase
what
that
history do they have in the military?
Laney, would
trans people weren't even a thing in the military until 2016.
That's not true. That's a lie.
It is true, guys.
That's a lie. That's not true.
I was.
Go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't even military from 1996 to 2002. Try again.
I have no idea what you just said. She's muffled.
I was in the military from 1996 to 2002.
Okay, and were you trans or identifying as a different gender at that time?
I am trans and have been trans since birth.
Okay, so when did you start dressing up as the different sex?
I don't dress up as the different sex. I dress up as myself.
See where
And
this
when I,
okay. See where this confusion is lying? You are dressing up if you were born a man and you're a
No
trans
one's
woman
born a
now,
man, dude. Come on, no one's born a man. Make that make sense, dude.
you're
Just
either
because you
born a
don't
man or a
understand,
woman,
just
right?
because no one's born a man. Have you ever seen a baby boy that is a full-grown man?
Okay, you
understand?
get it.
No,
Pickles, that's
you
kinda,
don't.
you get what I'm
Okay,
saying, dude.
no,
You're
I
either
know.
born a girl or a boy.
No,
A baby
here's
boy
the
or a
thing.
baby girl.
You guys fundamentally don't understand your way around these topics, so you're
Dude, this
just
is
fundamentally
common
wrong.
sense. 4,000, 5,000 years. You're either born a baby girl or a baby boy. It's
Yeah,
not that hard.
and gender is a social construct. You guys have to figure out
Okay,
how to talk
sure.
about this without sounding silly. Okay?
You think we sound silly when I say there you can either be born a baby boy or a baby girl, and I'm the silly one.
We're not having the trans argument right now. I'm telling you, is it okay for them to erase this from
I'm
our history?
asking what their
about,
history is.
Okay. Do you think we should
the
erase?
history is we have served in the military. We all took the same oath as everybody else. Did you take that oath, Matt?
No, did you combat? Did you go out
Then
to
shut
combat?
the fuck up.
Did you go out to
Shut
combat?
the
Yes or
fuck
no?
up.
We're both veterans in this.
10 to
Because
20% of
you
military people
have
go to combat.
you have your opinion about who should and should not take that oath.
Hey, I'm just
means
saying the
as much
highest
as a
suicide
pile
rate
of
is from
steaming
trans
shit.
people. He's doing them a favor
Doing them a favor by erasing their history?
by not allowing someone who's mentally
Doing them
unstable to go into a very mentally unstable place.
Hey,
We're talking about
can
history.
somebody mute him?
What's good, Jacob? I'm getting cussed out by a trans person right now. Again.
Can somebody
Alright.
mute him, please,
Who's cursing you out?
or drop him.
Yeah, now they want to drop me because I disagree with
Oh,
you.
Pickles, can I have the big screen?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a trans woman from like the 1940s. That
From where? From what time of age?
The 1930s.
Cool. What's
She
its
was
name?
also she was also a service member.
What's its name?
wow.
Her name was Christine Jorgensen, and you can say goodbye now.
Okay, Christine Jorgensen. I didn't know how to identify.
Dog.
Yeah, no.
These are people, not its, not things.
Oh, jeez.
What's up, Felice?
Hey, just listening to the weirdest conversation ever. Like someone without a basic working knowledge of science embarrassing himself. Like that was sad.
But the guy would never say this in person, man. Like this is why I get like so like that person, bro. Self for like that.
Oof. Guys, again, thank you for that. That was a perfect example of how this didn't just fucking start in 2016. That is a dumb example. And just because trans people have a high suicidality rate doesn't mean we erase the history of them in our military. That is completely incoherent. That is dumb.
Yeah, maybe ask yourself why we might have that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because living with people like Matt in the world fucking sucks.
But they say they support the troops, but what
Well, yeah, like if we're just gonna get like technical and actually say something about this, because that was the most embarrassing like that. What was that guy's name? He should be embarrassed by his own lack of knowledge. That the only person that should feel humiliated is the person who was just speaking so uneloquently about this. But I mean, I think the bottom line is this: like, it's not you until it is you, right? Like right now, like you're saying as a male who sat in society in a place of privilege, right? That you don't understand something. You do not have a working knowledge of science, of math, of the world around you. And as a result of that, you feel uncomfortable about things that are happening. And then that, therefore, gives you the right to discriminate against other people. But let me help you, like with all you 2A folks with your pocket constitutions, if you can read the Constitution correctly, and you believe that people have inalienable, if you as a white privileged male in society would like to enjoy inalienable human rights, then you also have to logically grant those rights to every other American citizen. And that seems to be the challenge. Like, basically, I feel like society is now limited on mediocre white men's ignorance, like what they are capable of reading about and grasping scientific knowledge of or not. And once they've reached that peak where something like it's beyond their own comprehension and it makes them feel icky, then I guess those people should no longer exist. That was the line of logic we just heard that idiot laying down. Hey, I am so ignorant, I can't read scientific studies. I don't know that intersex, that trans people occur not just naturally amongst like the Homo sapien species, but across all species in the animal kingdom. And I'm incapable of doing my own research on this. So I just say I feel icky, and I hope an entire group of marginalized people no longer exist. That's your own ignorance. You should feel embarrassed.
Not only that, like, I hope to God that he never has to have a child that feels alienated because of something like that. And then he doesn't have to reap what he sows.
Yes, we can get the.
I just hope he doesn't read it at all.
Let's get Pickles to 100K. Can we all tap the screen? Let's keep tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Sorry. I know I've been gone for like a week, but I'm on so many antibiotics and other medicines. I'm ready to argue with someone.
All right. Is it all right then if I drop now that the cavalry's here?
Yes, totally fine. Thank you
All right,
so much,
because
Laney.
I'm gonna get a sore throat trying to shout over the road noise.
Thank you so much, Laney.
Love
Y'all
you,
be
All
safe
right, love
driving.
y'all. Thank you so much,
Be
Pickles
safe.
and
I'll see you
Police
soon.
and Tom in chat.
Anytime.
Y'all, please donate.
If
Yeah,
you guys
no.
want, since you're on a computer, you could pull up the website fightagainstfascism.org, and it'll help a lot so people can see like where they can donate easily.
Yeah.
Because all they gotta do is click on either
Yeah, there's
good butter.
Yeah, there's the donate buttons right here at the top. So fightagainstfascism.org. I can't believe you guys got that domain. That is fucking awesome.
Listen, we had a lot of help from I think it's Moms Against damn, I can't even think right now. Sorry, I've been working all day. Stop Moms for Liberty.
Oh, okay.
Helped us with that website. And we just we started out as I started this in my fiance's car. I just like had the idea, and then next thing you know, I was like, let's put a .org on that. And then next thing you know, we have a website and all this stuff going on, and multiple organizations helping us along the way, and it just got where it's at, and more people are latching on as we go. So it's all about really just gotta believe in yourself. If you got an idea, if you have a vision, you gotta try like hell to make it happen.
For sure. Yeah, I'm proud to help you guys do this, and I hope you guys are safe out there too. I know this is probably one of those causes that could draw the wrong crowd.
We have marshals flying in, and we also have other people that are going to be volunteering as well. Especially having the permit helps a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Because then we have you know, so as much as we don't, you know, love the police, but you know, legally they have to, you know, protect the
Right,
space.
you can't have a rally without a permit, or everyone will end up in jail. It is always good to be permitted when engaging in civil disobedience.
Yeah. I'm trying to find my DD-214 right now because I want to have that on me just in case. Because, you know, people like, oh, you're still in Valor. You know, especially with the combat patch that I wear. They're like, oh my God, it's a special forces patch. You're trying to be an operator. I'm just like, listen, bro. I didn't necessarily pick the deployment that I was on. I just happened to be lucky enough to, you know, receive that beautiful patch. But
It's great.
you know, and I try, you know, the biggest thing when I was, you know, deployed, and you know, we try to be as just as professional as the people that we were supporting. And the one of the biggest mottos that we had was, we don't follow, we lead. And I always try to I try to use that. You know, I try to implement that in everything that I do. You know, just try to be a leader, try to do something bigger than myself, and try to get other people to do the same. And you know, if we could get that mentality going amongst each other, you know, we could achieve so much, you know. And I just want people to believe in themselves and believe in the power of unity and working together and fighting against this thing for real. You know, we can all do that. We just have to put our minds to it.
What's the name of the person in your background again?
Oh man, I forget. I was talking with Diana Patton, and she's a transgender woman, and she's one of the commanders of defense, the veteran democracy.
Christine Jorgensen.
That's probably it right there. I think she was. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But
The first known trans woman to undergo vaginoplasty was Dora Richter. But yeah, I believe that's Christine Jorgensen.
yeah.
A USA Army veteran who served World War II, Jorgensen became a prominent figure in transgender community for being among the first to publicly transition and undergo gender-affirming surgery. She worked as a nightclub singer and actress, and later become a spokesperson for the transgender people. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sorry that I forgot her name, but you know, I just had that in my pocket.
Yeah, that's
you know,
how
was,
I do.
you know,
I suck with words sometimes too. My brain.
Yeah. So.
And I just want to say, just for learning purposes, though, like there are trans women who are super feminine. There are trans women who are less feminine looking. But like the point is, you know, everyone should go into the bathroom with which they identify and mind their own business. And it has always been illegal to harass somebody, to assault somebody, to molest somebody, to do anything in a bathroom to anyone else.
Yeah.
That is the point. It doesn't matter if it's the most beautiful, most feminine trans woman you've ever seen, or it's 6 koalas in a trench coat. Nobody is allowed to hurt, molest, harass anyone in a bathroom. Like, so I just think it's a little bit of a false analogy, because sure, there are very feminine looking trans women, and you can say, why, well, what bathroom should she be in? And I know it's like it's the low hanging fruit, but that's really not what it's about at all, right? Because there are, you know, masked lesbians who are very much born female, and you're basically saying like, what does a woman look like? So the point is just, trans people have always existed, and it's always been illegal to harass, molest, or do anything to anyone in a bathroom, regardless of who you are or what you look like.
Well, another thing is that, you know, it's just the same thing with the Jim Crow stuff, you know, with you know, black people, or the fact that they try to over masculine black women. You know, they always try to say that black women look like men. So it's what is it? Is it that, you're just a misogynist and you want to dehumanize women, or you know you're just
Yeah, I mean that goes back to the patriarch, the white, you know, Western civilization runs on white supremacy. The other side of that coin is the patriarchy, right? And what is the gold standard of beauty to the white supremacist patriarchy, right? It's white feminine beauty, and that's, you know, and that is the gold standard, or allegedly in Western civilization, that people need to live up to. And then, like, if you want to get, I like the where your mind's going, because if you want to talk about that, like throughout history, you know, do a lot of Black women have high, you know, testosterone is a range, have on average higher testosterone? What does that have to do with? It has to do with eugenics. It has to do with the transatlantic slave trade. It has to do with breeding the most formidable, like, sturdiest slaves. I mean, like, we are talking about actual eugenics crimes against Black Americans committed by the US government. Like, that's the reality.
Germany got that from us.
Oh yeah, I mean, and all the whole thing, concentration camps. This is where Hitler came to learn what we did to indigenous people. That's what he was doing. Most of what Hitler was up to, he got from America.
They came to, that's where it is, and ironic that they had the same type of rally in New York City at the same place. You know, so
In, like, when Trump modeled his Madison Square Garden rally after Hitler's.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was very purposeful.
Well, hopefully these articles impeachment go through. So
Can we all tap the screen? We're trying to get to 100K and get some opposition. Is that what's going on? That's what I think is going on.
I mean, we can bring some people up. Yeah, I think that would get people, more people watching.
Yeah, let's get more people in here.
Yeah,
Let's debate.
I'll do the call to action again real quick, guys. The thing we're raising money for right now is the rally against fascism. This is about the erasure of LGBTQ people and minorities from, I think more specifically, the Stonewall websites, and their history, the erasure of history in the military, which is a huge tenet. This is a huge tip of the hat towards fascism. I would love to hear anybody's opinion on why this is okay, why you guys think this is no big deal. Besides your bigotry, besides your random opinion of how they might be icky to you, explain to us how it's good, why this is needed, how you can just look the other way. We're going to be having some people march on the Capitol tomorrow. It's going to be an organized event. We're trying to raise roughly $1,000 more, which is, honestly, it's not that much, guys. You guys can do it. If you guys could just donate $1, $5, you can text veteran1 to 53555, or you can go to Cash App and give it to info1 fight X fascism.
I just want to say, from a, like, just for anyone whose brain works really well, like, the reason why does erasure matter? Not just the erasure of past history, right? But going forward, the erasure of data, right? The checked boxes that say that someone's trans, or someone's non-binary, or somebody is a woman, or someone, you know, like, whatever, you know, and the definitions therein, why do those matter? It's because of statistical analysis. The way we determine that minority groups are being disproportionately discriminated against in society is through math. It's through statistical analysis. It's through checked boxes. And when, you know, I was on my soapbox for a long time talking about one of the most damaging things that Project 2025 set out to do, it is the erasure of history, but also the erasure of data, of being able to determine that minority groups are being disproportionately discriminated against in society. That is what Trump is doing. He's erasing statistical analysis of data that allows us to show who is being discriminated against in society. Oh man, I can barely see because we should change the background to something darker so we can see the comments. But Tony or Supercar Todd said the math says, "Where's Daddy?" Please come up here and talk to me about math on your best day. I can smell your insecurity from the comments. Please come up here and talk to me about statistical analysis. I cannot wait to embarrass you publicly.
Who says that, bro?
Insecure men. Come on, we're waiting for you to talk to us about statistical analysis. Regale us with what you know of it. And let me help you. The data is not on your side. The facts are not on your side. You're just going to be yelling your feelings.
It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be an American. I'm embarrassed that I served this country for 8 years to watch this shit. The fact that I have to protect people in my own homeland is crazy to me.
Yellow.
Hello.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you here to defend why it's okay to have the erasure of the LGBTQ community from history?
Erased, you said?
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's erasing it.
So he did an executive order to make sure that the Stonewall website erased all remnants of LGBTQ community from the Stonewall website.
From whose website?
Do you know what the Stonewall Monument website is?
Is that controlled by the government?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
How about we erase you from fucking history, bro?
Oh, you're really upset.
I'm not upset, bro.
Yeah. You cursing somebody, right? You can't do it face-to-face, tough guy, huh?
You're talking
He's
to a
right
combat
there.
veteran.
You can
dude.
see his face.
You're talking to a combat veteran.
He's right. His face is right there.
I know. He can't do it like in live, like in front of my face. He's got to do it in his
Well,
own
nobody
home.
knows where you are. You're the only person not showing your
Oh.
face right now. Everyone else's face
He's
is.
got combat.
Kim, I just want to point
I'm gonna
out
curse
the only
you out
person
'cause I'm a
who we
tough guy.
can't see their face is you, Patrick.
Yeah. So what? I don't care.
All right,
I'm
but
saying you're screaming, why
No, you
can't I
don't.
see your face? And I'm just pointing out you can see everyone's face.
I'm saying
but
he
yours-
wouldn't have saying somebody's in front of their face, like face to face. He wouldn't say that shit.
let's get to the meat and potatoes here, bud.
Freaking coward.
Do you think it's okay to do this?
Well, he controls the government. He could do anything he wants.
I know that you guys like dictator stuff, but why is this okay? Is this okay
What's
with
the
you?
dictator
Can you
stuff? What are you
justify
talking about,
this?
dictator?
Somebody who's consolidating power in the federal government.
In what way is he consolidating power?
Take out your pocket constitution, Patrick. It's time to learn what it really says. Do you understand?
What is
is
he
the
doing
job?
wrong?
Let me ask you a
Give me
question,
one thing
Patrick.
that
Here,
he's doing
let me help
wrong.
you. I used to be a second grade teacher. I can lead you through this.
Oh, you're a
What is the
teacher.
job of the federal judiciary?
What are you talking about?
What is the job of the federal judiciary?
you're-
What is
you're a
their
second grade
purpose?
teacher.
Why does the federal judiciary exist?
Why does it exist? Interpret the Constitution.
And
Not
to
to
do
be-
what? Place limits on the executive branch, to interpret the Constitution
interpret
and
the
place limits on the executive branch.
No, it's not the place limits. It's the,
Well, I mean, that's just what the Constitution says, but thank you for telling us you don't understand it. That is literally the job
No.
of the federal. Patrick, you're wrong.
well,
I don't know how to.
him,
And it's very interesting to me that you're all like, Constitution, protect the 2A, but you guys have no idea what the Constitution says.
So do you think that
no, I don't
that-
think I know because I
do you
understand the
think that
Constitution.
illegal aliens should get due process?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What a great conversation, Patrick.
read the
I'm so
Constitution,
glad you
you know.
asked. Take out your pocket constitution. It's time to learn
We're
something
gonna point
else,
to
Patrick.
the Fifth and the
Anybody
14th
whose
Amendments.
feet touch U.S. soil It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with being a citizen, a legal
Yes, it
resident. Let
does.
me help you, Patrick. Let me paint a picture for you that you might be able to understand. I recently read a study about how few of you MAGA folks have ever gained a passport. But let's say you save up all your coins to go to Cancun finally. And all of a sudden you get off that plane and you are just not just disappeared, Patrick. You are flown to Argentina and kept in a prison there and called a gang member, and you have no idea why for the rest of your life. Do you know why that doesn't happen when Americans go to Mexico? It's something called due process.
Oh, so
Because of democracy. So just so you understand what the Constitution says,
So you
it says
support
all
illegal,
persons.
criminals.
It's not all American citizens. It's not legal permanent residents. It's not
all
legal
people.
permanent
You
residents,
support
people with
illegal
student
criminals,
visas,
raping women and killing
people who
people.
are white enough in
That's what white
Patrick's,
people do.
people who are white
doesn't
enough to
matter.
Patrick.
I don't care if the
None of
person's
that matters.
Chinese.
All persons on U.S. soil get due process because that's how you avoid what? Tyranny. A tyrannical dictator pointing at you.
And they're here
Well,
illegally.
Patrick, and saying, hey,
Illegally.
you did something.
They broke the law. They're here illegally.
Okay,
Already.
again.
All right, so let's keep Jan Sixers in jail.
So again, Patrick, let me help you how it works because you have no idea what due process is.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you are Patrick, whether you do or not, what you are demonstrating is that you don't. Fundamentally, you don't understand the basics. So let me help you how it works, right? Entering the country illegally, which that is not the case in everyone's case, right? There are many
illegal.
people. Oh, I'm not done speaking. Let me finish, and then you can say, like, you can ramble and say a bunch of your feelings again.
Illegal.
What I'm telling you is, and I know because believe me, I make it my business to know. I'm a historical researcher. So there are many cases of people who have been disappeared who absolutely are in this country legally, attending school. They're legal permanent residents, married to U.S. citizens. So you sound like you have no idea what's going on, period. But outside of that, let's just say outside of that, let's take the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, right?
Yeah, MS-13 guy.
No, okay. So let me just help you because I've read every court document, so I can disabuse you of the things that you don't know. What was going on was that his mother had a very successful or moderately successful for El Salvadorian standards, a pupusa stand in El Salvador. His older brother, Chris, what happens is they start extorting the parents and saying either, okay, your kid's 12, they have to join this gang, or we're going to extort you. They paid as long as they could. They couldn't anymore. Patrick, let me help you. You're listening for comprehension, not for just your turn to say something asinine. This is where you get a chance to learn. So the next time you show up on a live, you don't embarrass yourself. Patrick, this is your learning opportunity. Just take it. I'm in a good mood today. So anyways, his older brother, Chris, fled into the United States, crossed the border illegally, which I just want to be clear. I know you don't understand due process, but that's a misdemeanor, not a felony. It's a misdemeanor. And there's a reason we don't there's a reason we let people enter the interior of the country. It's because you don't understand the actual financial weight of due process and giving someone it. It's a drain on us taxpayers. So I would also invite you to understand the economy and the workings around undocumented immigration because you have a complete misunderstanding of it. Okay, so anyways, I'm not done. That's the older brother. Then they continue extorting the parents. When Kilmar Abrego Garcia, they can no longer pay. They say, hey, you have to go north, run. Right?
And you support women getting raped.
Not done. He enters the country in 2016, is never heard from again until 2019 in Prince George's County, Maryland, outside of a Home Depot, which I've read every court document, and man, has the stuff come out about this fascinating and hilarious. Oh, not done, Patrick. You're not receiving information. You're just talking again like you know things, and we've already demonstrated several times you have no idea what you're talking about. So what happened was there were 3 people and Kilmar Abrego Garcia outside of a Home Depot. And a detective walked up. A detective who turns out did some very illegal things and was never allowed to show up to court to testify because he was like sharing a bunch of confidential information with a sex worker he may or may not have been having sex with. All sorts of, turns out this person can't even testify in court. Now, lucky, there's a different burden of proof in immigration court because if this was criminal court, not done, still not done. So anyways, whenever you uneducated people who cannot read court documents say he's an MS-13 gang member, let me help you how they got there. He has never been charged with any crime in any court in the world, ever. ever. He's never been charged with a crime. What
Supporting,
happened
criminals.
was the cop who then had to could not ever show up to court and testify and is no longer a credible witness in any case because it turns out he was like leaking information to a sex worker. That guy, he said someone told him, and that's what we call in legal, for people who can read and do actual primary research, that's what we call double hearsay. He said someone said that Gilmore Brego Garcia was a gang member. Now, that was at a bond hearing. That was not at a day in court. That was just whether or not he was going to remain in jail until he could see a real immigration judge. Patrick, now are you following me? So that was that, and based on that lie, that's where you get all your information. But then he stayed and was traumatized in prison for a year and got his day in court in front of a real immigration judge. And that judge said, you have testified credibly. Your witnesses have testified credibly. The only place on earth you can never be removed to is El Salvador. The one place that we mailed him. And I want to be clear on this because the Trump administration continues to lie. It's documented in court records. 4 different lawyers, including the current Solicitor General, John Sawyer, for Donald Trump, admitted that he should never have been sent there and it was an error. There is not one shred of legal argument you can make for him. No one's saying, hey, I'm arguing that this guy is morally a good person. Hey, I'm arguing that he should hang out in America forever. The only point is that he should be returned to receive what every person on U.S. soil gets to receive, due process.
Can you read the screen? Can you read the screen, bub?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you changing the subject now?
This is what does it say on the screen?
Undocument. You guys support rapists, criminals.
That has nothing to do with what's on the screen.
The president of the United States has been actually had due process. Let me help you here, Patrick, because man, you can lead a horse to water. Can't make him drink. Let me help you. Let me help you about due process. You know who has had due process? Donald Trump in civil court. And you know what happened? A jury of his peers in civil court in New York found him unanimously liable of sexual abuse. What you just yelled out. The man that you would die for, who's robbing you blind, because I know you can't do math. If you could do math, you would know that Trump is robbing you.
And Pete
literally,
Diddy got
while
off
you sit here
carrying
water for this man, he's robbing you blind.
Pete Diddy
and
got
you're
off
sitting here saying, talking about grape and essay. Let me help you out. Please never ever pretend as a conservative, because I can help you with statistical analysis. All the legislation brought by conservatives do not help women. 1 in 3. Let me say it slower. Let me say it slower for you, because I know you're not.
Is this
you're
the
not
P. Diddy
receiving
you're
it,
talking
Patrick.
about on the screen?
1 in 3 women have been essayed
about.
in this country. Now, if you're implying that every woman who's ever filed a civil protective order, we should just preemptively remove that man from this country, I'm actually on board with you. And something tells me, Patrick, you might be in danger.
Why am I in danger?
But that's what due process says, right? Trump got due process. Trump actually, it's not just that someone filed a civil protective order. Trump got his day in court in front of a jury of his peers who found him unanimously liable of what you're trying to scream.
Why are you obsessed with Trump so much?
I'm obsessed with facts.
Facts? You're obsessed with yourself.
Patrick. All you've said are your feelings. Brown people are rapists. That's what we've heard so far from Patrick, and a misunderstanding of the Constitution and due process.
Yeah, but you support rapists staying in this country.
Oh, Lord.
You elected one to the highest position.
No, Patrick, I actually think you and anyone else who's ever done something like that or been credibly accused of it, I said you weren't listening because you don't listen when women speak. What I said was, let me help you.
You're an idiot.
Am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Someone here, let me help you. There's 4 people up here. Someone is. You have a 25% chance it's you, Patrick. Put a 1 in the chat if it's Patrick.
Yeah. Well, could you talk to somebody like that in public?
Yes.
Coward.
This is public. What?
Oh, public, face to face, coward.
Are you saying you would break
It's
down
and
use physical violence towards Felice if she said this to you?
It's quite a few
No,
ones,
she wouldn't
Patrick.
go up to somebody and say this to somebody.
Someone
Why
up
not?
here.
Because they'd get physical? You think MAGA would be emotional?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, he's threatening me with.
I did not say that.
Then what's the point of her being face to face with somebody?
No, because she could call people names without face to face.
Call anyone a name.
Yeah,
You are
calling you
calling people
stupid.
names. I just gave you facts.
Oh, facts.
It
Felice.
hurts, doesn't it? They don't align with your
Felice.
feelings about what's going on in the world.
Are you upset because Trump is winning?
No, Trump isn't winning.
He's got
and
historical low
I'm-
approval ratings right now.
I keep trying to
Oh,
tell
yeah,
you
you
this.
looked in Turner's
Every
voting.
position, let me help you, Patrick. Every position I show up on the internet and defend is data driven and fact based. And then when the data tells me a different story, I just change my positions. That way I know confidently that I'm never wrong. That's how
think
I
he's a
know you are
fascist?
so off.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's why he has Jewish relatives. That's why, because he's.
Oh
he has a
my
Jew in his
God.
family?
You have no idea what
Racist.
you're talking about.
Fascism
You're a
doesn't mean you
racist.
hate Jewish people.
Racist pig.
Who are you speaking to now, Patrick?
You're racist, Felice. You believe he's a
Yeah,
fascist.
I'm a black indigenous Mexican
Oh,
woman
yeah.
steeped in racism. You caught me. Guilty.
Yeah, you hate Jewish people, right, Felice? Do you
No,
hate
that's
Jewish people?
hey. Let me help you. Sigmund Freud, even though he existed so long ago, it was so simple. Like you projecting your own hate onto other people will never
am I?
work.
You're just mad that Trump has Jews.
No,
in
but
his
you
family.
should read
fuck?
Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud, and you would know why you just confessed
Do you
to your
believe
own
in the
hate.
establishment of Israel, Felice?
It's basic psychology. Like,
Felice, do you believe in the establishment of Israel?
oh, your evangelical delusions? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, so
We've got
you
an
hate the Jews,
evangelical
Felice, right?
here, people, just like my mommy.
Yeah, Felice, do you hate Jews? Felice?
Again,
You can't-
absolutely
you
not.
can't- please don't
Yeah,
say that
do you
string of
believe
words.
the
You-
existence of
Listen,
Israel?
if you consider, let me
Do
help you
you
though. You
believe
need
in
to
the existence
let me.
of
Hey,
Israel?
listen to me. You need to listen.
Do
You have to
you
stop
believe-
spewing hate because you're going to get the live taken down. If you want to remain up here, you can't
Oh,
say.
you don't want to say Israel's a state, right?
No, you can't
have to
say-
stop spewing hate. I said.
Oh, saying Israel exists is hate?
No.
No, you know what you yelled. We
How did
can't
this
repeat
even?
it.
How far are you going to
Does
reach to defend your position?
Israel exists.
How
as
far
a
are you going to
state.
reach? Are you trying to trigger
Absolutely.
us with the Israel thing? We're talking about fascism that has nothing to do with Jewish people, has nothing to do with Israel. It
No,
has to do
because
with
you hate-
political
you hate Trump
ideology.
He
because
doesn't
there's
know what
Jewish people
fascism
family
is,
members.
so he's
No,
pivoting.
we don't. You guys are the ones who
That's a
think
blood
that.
libel.
No, you guys are the ones who thinks that
Oh my
the
God,
media
it's
is
like
ran by a certain
talking to the-
ethno-religious group. You guys are the ones who thinks that George Soros runs the left. That is anti-Semitism.
That is anti-Semitism. Do you know what
Yes.
George Soros said about Jews when they were getting?
George-
He
you
is.
need to stop.
He
He
is.
is Jewish. He's
Dude.
a Hungarian Jew who survived the Holocaust. You probably should just
he
stop.
said the Holocaust was the best time of his life. He said it.
Yeah, you are absolutely
All
awful.
right, dude. Are you just trying to
Yeah.
get kicked
Do you,
off?
do you see what I'm saying?
said
Freud
that.
is never wrong. Like whilst accusing other people of anti-Semitism,
Do you think
spewing-
Israel should
it's
defend itself against
quite
what
literally
the Palestinians
spewing
did?
anti-Semitism is a very wild thing to be doing. Patrick, listen. You feel very insecure. You feel like your piece of the
Oh.
pie is being taken. No,
Do you believe
Patrick, let me help
Netanyahu's a
you.
war
I
criminal?
just really need. I need to
Yes.
really say this to you. I
He's
really
a
need to.
war
I need to get
criminal.
this out, Patrick. You
Oh.
feel like brown people are taking something from you, but I
No,
can
I
tell
don't.
you that through
don't.
forensic accounting and statistical
don't.
analysis, I can assure you that no brown people have your money. You are being robbed by the people that
Police.
you are sitting up
Police.
here defending.
Do you think Netanyahu is a war criminal?
Again,
You don't
do
wanna
I
answer the
think,
question?
or do I think it's been factually proven in court?
Oh, he's a war criminal. Oh, because
Yes.
Israel can't defend itself, huh?
What?
Oh, Israel can't defend
That,
itself.
you understand? You're arguing now the opposite of the point you just made.
I have a question. Do you like
Like
Bernard
you
Shaw?
literally just opposed your own claim.
Do you
That's
like
a very weird thing to do. Are you
literature
okay?
guy Bernard
Listen,
Shaw?
I don't know what's happening right now. I think you're having a meltdown.
No,
And I don't even mean that disrespectfully. Like take a deep breath.
think I'm
and
having I'm
well,
laughing at
listen to
this.
me. Can we stay on a line of logic? You pick the subject, but you're like hopping all over the place. That's what
Do you
I'm
know
saying.
the Jews are the God's people? You know that, right?
Oh my God.
The Old Testament.
No one believes in fairy tales on this live, dude.
The Bible's fairy tales?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So the Jews were or,
You are
ens-
very obsessed
enslaved
with
by the
Jewish people.
Egyptians?
If
That's
I
a
were
fairy tale?
Jewish, I would be very worried about you.
The
Stop
Jews
talking
ens-
about them.
Oh, the
weird.
Jewish people were enslaved by the Egyptians. That's a fairy tale? Pickles? That's a fairy tale?
We don't believe in
Is
sky
the Holocaust a
daddies.
fairy tale, Pickles?
No, if you're asking if throughout time different groups have been enslaved by other groups historically, I have a degree in history.
I have a degree in history, so I'm smarter than
No,
you.
Patrick, you couldn't find your way out of a paper bag to save your
Oh,
life.
yeah.
You're just
So-
a person rambling incoherently for
Do you know
all
the
of our
Jews were
entertainment.
prosecuted
There are
over thousands of
927
years?
people in here watching you humiliate yourself.
Whoa! Do you know the Jewish didn't have a state?
That was
for
like the nicest thing I could say. That was a fair warning. Like,
you know the Jews didn't have a state for 2,000 years. They were the most prosecuted minority.
and
in
it's still
history.
happening. I don't know. Pickles, try something else.
Oh, Pickles! Pickles! How do you feel about that? That the Old Testament
That you
is
have a
fairy
very
tale.
weird obsession with Jewish
I don't believe in
people?
anything aside from proven history. I don't believe in
Oh yes, so the
Old
Jews weren't
Testament.
enslaved by the Egyptians. So
if that's a historical fact, then I do. But if it's just something that's a claim in the Bible that's not supported by history, I don't believe it.
oh, so you don't believe it? So I guess you don't believe in the Holocaust too.
No, that's
The
a part of
Holocaust
history.
is not in the Bible. That happened in the
Oh,
40s.
no, I'm just
That
saying
was not
Pickles doesn't believe in the
60,
Holocaust.
70
Do you
years
believe in the
ago. If you
Holocaust,
can do
Pickles?
what are you, sir?
Pickles, do
Sir,
you believe in the Holocaust
What
happened?
what
course
time
I do.
period do you think the Bible
What?
is going on in? When do you think the Bible is happening?
It was thousands of years.
How old do you think the earth is?
Pickles, do you believe that the Holocaust happened?
Thank you, Joseph, for the $25.
I can't hear you guys saying.
Yes,
Felice, do you-
we all believe that the
Oh, now
Holocaust
you
happened.
know my name? You were just ignoring me when it was convenient,
Felice,
but all of a sudden
how
he's
many million-
desperate
how
to be
many-
heard, so
How
he's
many people
yelling my
died in
name
the
again.
Holocaust, Felice? How many people died? Jewish people died in the Holocaust.
I don't know, millions?
Oh, you don't know that?
It's like
6
5 to
million.
10 million. Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
bad,
right.
right?
You're welcome for being
Mustache
right.
Man, right? Was bad, right? He was evil.
Of course he was.
He was
You
evil.
guys are.
Oh, are you
guys
saying
blindly...
you oppose fascists?
You
Like,
guys
are you landing the plane? Are you on our
I'm saying
side? What's
Hitler was an
happening?
evil man.
He's like talked himself into a circle
all right,
from
Pat.
bigotry to.
Patrick, I want to go over something. Have you ever heard of the 14 tenets of fascism?
What?
Have you ever heard of the 14 tenets of fascism?
What is the 14 tenets of fascism?
Have you heard of it? Do you know what that is?
No, I don't really care.
You don't
Why?
care. You don't care what led to the
Fascism?
unaliving
Big on
of all those people
absorbing
you just talked
knowledge.
about?
He's not a
Oh, I
knowledge
gotta know
guy.
the 14 points. I gotta know the 14 points.
You do. You do. This is.
Oh
Are you done making childish motes?
my God, you guys are.
Gasp a few more
All right.
times, Patrick. Get it
All
out
right,
now.
Powerful and continuing nationalism. Have you ever seen any of your friends? You ever been in a rally where people have tattoos of Donald Trump on their arm, or like wrapped trucks with
Oh,
flags?
that's fascism.
This
That's
is this is
fascism?
one of the tenets of fascism. Yes,
Oh, that's
a
called freedom
disdain,
of speech.
a disdain for the recognition of human rights. Remember just a few seconds ago when you guys were saying that a certain type of people don't get due process? Remember that part?
What about the Jewish
one of
students
them.
in the universities? They don't get the
Hold
process.
on. You're not going to scapegoat people. Identification of
Oh,
enemies and
I'm not
scapegoats
scapegoating.
of unifying cause. Identification of enemies and scapegoats of a unifying cause. Let's see. We can talk about migrants. We can talk about Nancy Pelosi. You can talk about all the other things that you guys come together. Supremacy of the military. You guys are up here. Oof. Someone just got kicked.
Oh.
You guys can talk about the $2 trillion Trump dumped into the military last time he was in office. We can talk about the military parade that he's going to throw on his birthday. Rampant sexism. I don't know. Trump with 28 essay allegations, an adjudicated essayer. Let's see. Controlled mass media. Trump is claiming that certain types of media are illegal now. He's kicking certain media groups out of the Oval Office right now because they don't speak highly of him. Obsession with national security. Trump is doing things in the name of national security that are circumventing the laws and circumventing people's human rights and civil rights. Religion and government are intertwined. Trump has started an anti-Christian bias task force, people who speak out against Christianity. There's a federal arm of the government now that is against that.
Called
Corporate
bigotry
power.
of Christianity.
No. Can
No.
you define
Yes, it
bigotry?
Yeah,
Bigotry?
like they're speaking out
Targeting,
anti-Christian
Christian.
bias. They're rooting
you
out
define
these
bigotry?
anti-Christian bias.
Targeting Jewish people in universities.
No,
What about
that's
that?
incorrect. Can you
The
define
weird
bigotry?
obsession with the Jews continues.
Can you define
I was
bigotry?
threatened by a Palestinian protester one time.
Okay, can you stay on
It's a
topic?
great story, Patrick.
Yeah, I was at
Focus.
the university. He said, if I don't shut my mouth, something's going to happen to me.
Patrick,
That's
stay
what he
off
said.
see
college
why.
campuses. You're far too old to
Labor
be
power
anywhere
is
near a college campus. Far
labor
too old, sir.
labor power is suppressed. I don't know. Trump is constantly talking about how he's a union buster. He fires people on strike. He's a scab. Disdain for intellectuals in the arts. He's obviously convinced everybody on the right that college is a liberal indoctrination. He's also threatening colleges such as Harvard and Columbia University if they don't bend to his will, and he's going to remove federal funding from them and take their tax exempt status from them. Obsession with crime and punishment. He's basically throwing people in jail that haven't even seen due process, just like we were talking about. And he literally ran one of his campaigns on lock her up. Rampant cronyism, corruption. There's a whole diagram I can show you of all the people in Trump's inner circle that have felonies who he has also pardoned. He's also got 34 felonies himself. And we have fraudulent elections. That one speaks for itself. We haven't heard a peep out of Trump about the fraudulent election he claims to have taken place over the last 4 years when he lost the last election and cried like a baby back bitch and did 4 years of campaigning on it.
Well
Well
Biden
said,
was
Pickles. That was what you call a coherent thought.
Do you believe that? Do you believe the 2024 election was fair?
Yeah, there's no evidence that have come out to show that there were interference in the election.
Can I ask you a question, Patrick? And this is not sarcastic. I'm just genuinely asking. Like I'm saying this because I'm now talking from a point of like data and statistical mathematics. We like everyone right now that's up here on this panel, whether you like it or not, Patrick, because I know you see yourself as being in a different group than the rest of us. Like Trump's going to save you, but we are all right now in the same life raft. Our resources are being drained by the same people, right? Thanks to forensic accounting, we know who is stealing from us, right? It's billionaires. It's rampant. I'm just like not the last tenet of fascism, but the 13th, rampant cronyism. That's what I want to ask you about. I want to ask you, like, since 1980 to 2022, $50 trillion has been transferred from the middle class to the top of the economy. The reason I tell you, hold on. The reason I'm saying 1980 and using that date is because that's when Republicans started to say, hey, if we just don't tax billionaires, if we don't tax corporations, it'll trickle down. It'll trickle down.
Did you live in the 80s?
No, but I can do statistical analysis. So
I lived through the 80s. I lived it.
Oh, well, I mean, I was alive in the late 80s, yes. Like, but I mean, not like an adult. But anyways, my point, Patrick, listen to me. You need to understand this. You should know who is robbing you. You should grasp it. Since the time that Reagan started saying, hey, we just won't tax rich people. We won't tax corporations. It's all going to trickle down. $50 trillion has been transferred to the top of the economy.
And our debt is $36
Patrick,
trillion.
I understand you feel weird about trans people. You feel weird about gay people. You feel weird. You feel uneasy about women. I can sense it. You don't trust me because I'm a woman. But let me just finish. Can I just say, like, let's just say you had all those feelings, but then once a week someone was breaking into your home and robbing you. What would be your focus? The people you felt uneasy about? Or like the person who was home invading you every week? Because that's what I'm trying to tell you, Patrick, is I get it. I feel uneasy about you too. I'm like, Patrick makes me feel weird. He seems weirdly obsessed with Jewish people. And he has some pretty extreme ideas. But one thing I'm sure of, Patrick, I am sure of that you are not robbing me and I am not robbing you. I am sure that billionaires that are crony capitalism, an oligarchy is forming around Trump and wealth is concentrating at the top of the economy in a way we will never recover from.
China.
How do I know that? Math.
Oh, China. China's a communist country.
Okay, there we go. See, I just want everyone to know that I tried. Everyone witnessed it. We tried.
Know China's oligarchy
we gave it an honest shot with Patrick. He's beyond logic.
You're communist, right?
Okay, Patrick, what's communism? Because I can't wait to disabuse you of this. What's communism?
Do
you believe that China is a communist country?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the 100% wrong answer. Let me help you.
Because you're a commie.
No, Patrick, let me help you. There is no state, which when I use the word state, right, that means that's an interchangeable word for country, that is communist. Because you understand the tenets of communists, it is stateless, It is borderless.
I read it.
It is classless. It is moneyless. The only and have I now? If you're asking me, Felice, have you ever traveled to a place where true communal living exists? I can say to you, Patrick, yes, I have.
Where?
It's in the Amazon. I disappeared into South America for a while.
The
There are
Amazon.
still places. There are still places where voluntarily people are living communally. That has nothing to do with Western civilization or philosophers like Karl Marx in the 1800s acting like they discovered communal living. There are still indigenous people who exist communally very successfully.
Yeah. So you like China?
But
huh?
as far, I want you to understand, China is a capitalist country, an authoritarian capitalist country.
What about the Soviet Union?
No,
What
but
was
let me
that?
tell Patrick, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, that means that you don't know what you're talking about. China operates as a capitalist authoritarian
Soviet
country.
Union-
Now, I'll give you
Soviet
this. Did they use, was Xi Jinping steeped in the tenets of Marxism at one point in his life? Sure. Did Xi Jinping use some of Marxism? Like, which I want you to know what Marxism is. It's an idea, it's ideas about how to exchange goods and services outside of currency, right? How do you lift people out of poverty, right?
Make everybody
Outside
equal,
of
I know.
currency. And did Xi Jinping lift billions of people in China outside of currency, like into literacy and upward mobility? Yeah, he used some ideas that Karl Marx had.
Oh,
But
you
if
love,
you think that China is operating as a communist country, that is the most ignorant thing you could
you
ever
like
say in
Karl
your life.
Marx, do you?
No, Karl Marx was, well, let me help you again, Patrick. This is just a favor. I'm now doing charity work. Karl Marx was just a guy in Germany, just like Hitler in the 1800s, who was like, hey, like, I'm pretty smart. I have a degree in philosophy, and I'm noticing that the average white male in Europe is getting ripped off. That's all he was ever talking about. He was saying, like, hey, I really liked what happened in the French Revolution. Like this idea of like, no more kings, no more queens. Like we all need to have upward mobility. But when the dust settled, that's not what's happening. The kings and queens just go by another name now, capitalists.
I bet you like Cuba too,
And
right?
that's all he was ever saying was, hey, the people that are working should have equity too. They should have skin in the game. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Karl Marx was never, he wasn't even talking about communism. That was an ideal that he espoused, like, and saw almost like Buddhism. He's a socialist. He was talking about, hey, why don't workers have equity in what they're working on?
You're a typical red.
No, I'm somebody who knows information that you don't
You
know,
like
and that makes
socialism?
you feel insecure.
Oh, you love socialism, huh?
Okay, again, you don't have a working knowledge of socialism. You've been taught in Western civilization that socialism is a bad word. You're just
Yeah,
confused.
Socialism is bad.
Okay,
Make
Pickles, Patrick is having trouble in understanding and learning.
All right,
You're a
guys, tap
hypocrite.
the screen. One like equals one prayer for Patrick and his low IQ. We are
So many prayers are needed.
We are
Oh,
trying
follow
to
me.
raise.
So
we're
many
trying to
prayers.
raise funds to
500,000
rally against
prayers.
fascism, the thing that creates things like Patrick appear on our panel.
Do you know Mustache Man was with the German Socialist Party?
Oh, man, I can't wait to help you with history. Oh, I have a history degree, so I'm uniquely positioned to
know, he
help you
joined
with
the
this
German Socialist
idiocy.
Party.
Let me help you. Very similar to
You like
China calling.
socialism, man.
Oh, Patrick, I'm going to help you with actual truth now. You're going to learn. Aren't you excited to learn something and not embarrass yourself publicly again?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what Hitler did. That's how he drew people in. He said, hey guys, let's all join together. Like, we're the average middle class European white man. And like, I feel like we're all getting a raw deal. And these other people, the Jews, let's other those people. We got to do something about those people. They're up to something because mediocre white men aren't getting a fair shake in Europe. And I heard about this idea from a guy that lived 100 years ago named Karl Marx. He's talking about socialism. I'm going to say we're socialists, but you know what happened? Have you ever, no, you can look this up after you get off because it's fascinating. And I think you like documentaries. I can tell you like to learn. You seem to have ideas about things. They're just all wrong. It's called The Night of the Long Knives. And you know what that was? That was when Hitler took all the true believers, the brown shirts, the ones who were real socialists, who believed that Hitler cared about the average middle-class white man in Germany, it was going to share in equity and give them all, everyone was going to have a piece of the pie, and he unalived them in the middle of the night, because Hitler was never a socialist. He was a capitalist to the core. And
No,
the
he
fact
wasn't.
you
He was a
don't know
socialist.
that shows your own ignorance,
No.
Patrick.
You know what the N word means? It means nationalization in German.
Again, you're welcome for the free education.
So,
Hitler was never
you
a
support
socialist.
Mustache Man now.
He actually rounded up the real socialists, the real Marxists that
No.
made the European governments
No, he
go
was with the
and
German
unalived
Workers'
them and
Socialist
disappeared
Party.
them. Yeah, I mean, the
And,
fact you don't
the
know that
N-word
just
means
says
nationalization
Patrick is
is
lost and confused yet
No,
again.
because you don't want to admit you
Are
support
we
the
paying
guy.
to kick people? Does anyone have $20
No,
to get
because
rid of
you're a
Patrick?
typical feminazi.
Just takes 20.
Feminazi
Oh, and
hiding.
by the way, Joby, thank you for the $25 on Venmo.
Police
I
is a
love you.
feminazi.
No, I'm
Holy
just a
shit.
person. Wow,
Shame
that's a
on you,
really
closet
rude thing to
feminazi.
say. When women make me feel insecure, I just
No,
endeavor to learn more. But
no,
not
you're
you,
hiding
Patrick.
in
You
closet.
start yelling scary things.
I know.
It's-
I don't.
hey,
I'm not you hiding swastikas
Let
in the
your
closet.
insecurity fuel your fire to not be
The
embarrassed
N-word
again
means
publicly.
nationalization.
That's my
You
advice to you.
hypocrite.
Take that insecurity
He
and like
joined
this
the
public
German
humiliation
Socialist
and let it
Workers'
fuel
Party.
your
You
fire
don't
to
wanna-
learn.
You don't want to deal with reality. You hater. You're a hater.
You're doing
That's-
it again. You're projecting your
No,
own
you hate.
feelings onto me.
No, you hate.
I don't feel that way.
No, you hate
Guys.
because you can't admit that Mustache Man was with the German Socialist Workers' Party.
She just
Shame
told
on
you.
you.
She just told you there's context
It
around that.
basically
If you don't
walked
want to
you
listen
through the
to
whole
it, that's
thing.
on you. But
No, that's
I
not
can't
true.
help you.
She's a,
Can't, no,
she can't admit it.
Patrick, you're having a tantrum. You need to go in the
Shame
corner. Do you
on
need to put
you,
your nose in the
hater.
corner for 5 minutes, Patrick?
anti-Semitic hater.
Patrick, you're
No,
about
I'm
to go
not.
in the corner.
Oh yeah, because the truth lady can't. I know you're hiding that N-word and that swastika. on your
Fine, I
closet.
am black. That is super weird to say to me. Like,
right,
you
guys.
weirdo.
thank y'all.
Sorry,
for the
Patrick's
support.
having a bad day.
I'm not going to make anybody pay to kick that person. We're good.
Well, Michelle sent me $25. It just says to kick Patrick. I'll send half of it to you.
no, don't do
Because
that.
someone
Don't
just
do
sent
that.
it to me.
Don't do that.
Sorry,
It's
I'm
okay,
losing my
it's okay.
voice.
Send it to the Cash App on
What
the
is
screen. if you want.
Oh, got it.
Oh my God, guys.
Well, what's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm really down the middle. I don't. I'm not really the most politically
Embarrassed to say it after
aligned
listening
person.
to Patrick. we
Listen,
understand.
I messaged him very early on. I was like, "Hey, just coming from right down the middle, you're a complete idiot. Wild that you guys had him on for so long, but I guess you got to pay the bills. You provided some good entertainment. But I joined when you guys were talking about. You had something up that was about Trump. Something about the Stonewall. He's erasing the term queer and trans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when were those added? Like after this Stonewall thing was, I guess, erected or something. I know nothing, but I just want to
This is the
when we get to
website
point.
for the Stonewall, for the history, the archives. So Trump ran some queries into databases in the federal government, and also passed executive orders that would extract words like gay, queer, and there was collateral damage, such as the famous plane that dropped the atomic bomb, the Enola Gay. So he's been so reckless with this that he's basically just trying to erase all things gay and queer from military history. And this is actually very eerily similar to how they burned down all of the science and all of the books in regards to this same thing during
Okay,
the
well,
1930s
let's
Germany.
back up a second though, right? So he erased the term. He literally tried to kind of wash out any evidence of gayness in the military at all, or was there maybe some kind of in the hypothetical, right, that there was something
So
productive
just because he
done
didn't
there?
do it 1,000% doesn't mean it's okay, right?
No, I'm just trying to get down to because you can point to the the extreme of the Enola Gay. I'm just because here's the question, right? Conceptually speaking, why do you guys think that there's all this animosity towards homosexuality, transsexuality?
Because it's easy to get to drum up people's feelings and get votes on it.
Right, but why do you think those feelings exist?
Because of people
Very
not
expensive
understanding.
advertising campaigns. Because I can tell you, as somebody who does statistical analysis, these are non-issues in society. You guys are terrified of something.
What statistical analysis provides for the idea that
statistical analysis, like instances, like what you fear, and I don't know, trans people, homosexual, whatever, like those issues, they're statistically insignificant. So, but I do know, like I was a teacher for a while, that's true. And I was patronizing Patrick with it. But after that, I was an advertising executive. And I can tell you that hundreds of millions, over $1 billion has been spent at this point demonizing the trans community and convincing people like yourself that there's something going on that isn't, right? It has always, I mean, this might come as a shock to you, Mike. It's always been illegal to go into any bathroom. It doesn't matter who you are, and harass someone, molest them, do something creepy. All of that has always been illegal.
Right. But, you know, to back up on.
So I'm saying it's been reverse engineered into your mind that it's a problem. And if you want to present data that says that there is a real problem, I'm open to looking at it.
Well, couldn't you argue that the obvious campaigning from the opposite side, which is probably equal, if probably not more. I mean, you had the entire liberal agenda was essentially supportive of trans rights and whatnot, right? So
that's not exactly true. This is the
listen.
truth.
Let me just make this one point. If you think that this backlash against homosexuality and transsexuality, like obviously that was worse before, don't you think? Like
maybe, but. This is also,
we also used to think black people were 3/5 a person. Do you remember the 3/5? Remember when black people weren't people, and then time marched on and we moved on? This is very similar to that, Mike.
We moved very linearly.
I'm sorry you feel icky about people, but the real point is
no. But I'm trying to get you to understand, like this whole like patronizing.
Hey, listen. If you're a conservative and you believe in small government. The same.
Look, guys, I never said any of this.
Can I just say this? Let me just say this, and then because I interrupted Pickles and I have immense guilt right now, and I need to shut up. So let me just say something. If you're a real conservative and you believe in small government, states' rights, brother, or whatever that used to be, then the inalienable rights you want for yourself, to not have anyone in your doctor's office, to make decisions, to F who you want, to do what you want in peace, to have as many pew-pews as you want, all of that has to logically apply to everyone else, even if you feel icky or your line of logic has collapsed and you're a hypocrite.
And also to address what you're saying earlier, it's the Trump's campaign spent $217 million to attack trans people this last election cycle, and Kamala Harris never mentioned the word trans once. So what we've been dealing with is we've been gaslit into defending another minority group, and we haven't seen one piece of legislation pushed by the left to introduce this to kids, like they're saying, or to put this in schools, or to do anything of that nature. They're literally just lying and saying we're doing that.
I just want to bring this, because again, I never made any stance on either side, right? But I just want to bring this up because this is the part that kind of is eerie to me when you guys are talking about it. I understand there might not be any type of overt black and white legislation claiming this or that, but you could agree that there's been a lot heavier influence on,
No, it's the exact opposite, Mike. All of the legislation brought to take rights from trans people and the LGBTQ. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking about facts. I'm talking about math. All of that legislation, thousands of pieces of legislation in total in the last 5 years, have all come from conservatives. The $1 billion that's been spent running ads. And I'm talking about either in defense of or against trans people, have been conservatives. The obsession with people's genitals comes from you. I'm not talking about my feelings about it. I'm talking about, you can do your own analysis. I'm not, because you don't have to believe me, but look into who has introduced legislation related to the LGBTQIA. It is always I'm not done. It's always conservatives. And look who has spent the $1 billion to run ads about the trans community. It has never come from the left. You all
Right,
are obsessed
right.
with people's genitals. I never wanted, I don't care. Everyone just go to the bathroom,
No,
look
but
at the
I'm not. Here's the
ground,
thing.
pee in the bathroom and leave the
I'm on
bathroom.
your
If
side
you
here.
have
I
trouble
just want.
peeing in a public bathroom and just looking at the ground, then my advice is you have a bathroom at home and that's where you need to use the bathroom. That's as
Okay,
far as we
so
need to
let's
talk
just.
about it.
I'll cut some more teeth here. Okay, so Felice, you're a numbers person, statistics person, right? Like, so proportionally speaking, trans people, do they not tend to be more suicidal, more emotionally, pretty much volcanic? And there's some. Well, I'm trying to break this down. Actually, let me just backpedal here. It's almost like you guys are fascinated and like don't
No,
understand
that's
why.
statistically wrong. If you're saying if attempts at unalivings, because don't say that word again, because I'm saying just for the live, to protect the live, don't say the S word. But
Oh, sorry.
attempts at
I don't know.
unalivings, are they higher amongst trans people or the LGBTQIA? I mean, that's a multifaceted conversation that you have to understand. Like, we'd have to then factor in the instances of homelessness, the instances of being excommunicated from family, like why depression is higher in
Right,
certain
yeah, it
groups.
gets
So
complicated
that's a more nuanced conversation. But when you said, like, the part that I just have to call out as completely delusional is you said that they're more explosive. Let me help you, Mike. Anger is an emotion, and that emotion always comes from men. When men say we're not
What?
emotional, we're all logical. No, you guys are all very angry. You're
Wait, they're
constantly
like
expressing, hold on, you're constantly expressing anger and violence. And I'm talking about statistically now. Violence comes
this is
against
a
the
non-point.
LGBT. Wait, let me talk. You want to talk statistics? Let me talk to you about who's having explosions of
About men.
violence.
Okay,
That is
go ahead.
always straight men
Fire point.
having
Fire.
explosions of violence against who? Against the LGBTQIA and against women. And then in the next breath, we have to hear from men, we're going to protect you. But Mike, who do we need protection against? We're not having explosions of violence against each other. Like, so no, that line of logic has collapsed in upon itself.
There's just this strangely hypocritical, very much like empathy forward way of thinking that's come across in like the zeitgeist as of recently. And I get it. It might just be an overcorrection as like the rubber band effect from, where we were probably 60 years ago was wild compared to where we are now. But I urge you to like just, you can go into the statistics all you want, but like you can't ignore that there's something on some
You can't
human
ignore
level.
Mike's feelings. That's what I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is what you're saying. You're saying you feel. And I validate your feelings. I just want to be clear. I will never question someone's feelings. Your feelings are valid. And I get it. If there's one thing I can logically recognize, it's that white men in America are saying, hey, like, I feel like something's being taken away from me. I feel like I'm less important. I feel like I'm not being heard. I validate all those feelings. And I think we need to look for a solution to that. So I do hear you.
If we I'll leave on this. Like, if you think that, I think that there's just an oversight when you want to, like, because I'm not a math whiz on statistics. I'm sure if I could pull it up, it wouldn't take me too long at all. But, if you are going to just completely overstep the idea that there's something corrosive about just, the hypersensitivity and the strange, just over. It's hard. It's because I don't want to back myself into a wall here, but we're not prepared for it. But you guys be good. Again, I never argued toward. I was just trying to like illustrate why maybe even the whole.
You feel icky, like, and I get it. Like, you should just explore. And I'm saying this genuinely because like we all have to deconstruct. Like, you feel like you're losing something, and that empathy that you're losing in society. That important. No, I'm
it's a very natural
validating
reaction
you.
to something that's very unnatural, and that's
trying
really
to validate you. But like you're saying, I feel like another human being's existence is unnatural, and I would say,
do you agree?
You are blessed to be born into a majority and into a privileged
Wait.
majority, and I just would like you to imagine like the way you would defend your inalienable rights that is the same way I'll defend them for any person, even if I'm like, hey, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand people with potato guns in the backwoods of Idaho, the white nationalist men. Like, I don't get it. But hey, you do you, white nationalist men looking for validation. Like, I defend your right to do whatever it is you're doing up there in the backwoods of Idaho. Like, and I think you should try to strive to have that attitude about the LGBTQIA. Like, you don't understand it. But if you want to defend your own inalienable rights, then you have to defend theirs as well.
And Lincoln
Right.
High,
It does a good job of stepping on its own feet in that regard. That's all I'm saying. It's not about not understanding. It's like a very, you know, convenient way for you to phrase it. But I actually, like, sometimes I get worried that you guys actually believe that.
I thought I was being really nice. I thought I was being really nice.
No, again, like, I hope that you think a little deeper into why that sentiment exists.
Why you feel uncomfortable about gay people? Mike, none of us can solve that problem for you. Like, you've got to do it. That's a deep dive. You've got to take a deep dive inside.
There must be an overwhelming majority of people that are having this reaction.
Can I tell you why you feel icky about it?
Hi, Lakin.
Because again, it's literally an unnatural, like verbatim objective, like the way that the term is.
It's not true. So in 2015, after the LGBTQ community got marriage rights, the Heritage Foundation and several other right-wing think tanks decided, who are we going to go after next? And they looked at my community, the trans community. I'm a trans man. Right. And they said, that's our next target. Because my state, North Carolina, was the first state to try and go after bathrooms. They did the HB2. It's a pretty big, it was one of the biggest bathroom bills of its time. And it did not, well, it passed and then it failed because it would have cost North Carolina, I believe, I don't know, somewhere upwards of $3 billion or something like that because of all that it had in it. They're trying it again here in North Carolina with North Carolina SB 516. But Trump ran on that. Ran on the trans community is bad. The trans community this, trans community that. Like Pickles said earlier, he ran 215 million anti-trans ads. Anti-LGBTQ ads. Kamala Harris and the Dems, nothing. Didn't say anything about
you guys
us.
This is, again, it's really concerning to hear you guys like rely on that kind of thing.
I just want you to know that that data is public knowledge. This is called forensic accounting. Like, it's done in arrears for campaign finance.
Felice, thank you.
Mike, I just want you to know that what you're experiencing right now is incongruence with your feelings. But what Lakin is saying is factual. I'm just helping you out through your cognitive dissonance. I'm just leading you into the light. That was factual information you just received. I know it's hard because it goes against what you feel like is going on in America.
Listen, why would they even choose to bring that up? It's something that happened in the media.
Why would Trump choose to spend $1 billion in the last 4 years demonizing trans people? I don't know.
Was he demonizing?
Take that up with your party.
Think about why that was.
I don't know. Maybe there was a playbook from like the 1930s where they demonized a minority group and won election from it.
Maybe there's actual in think tank, and I can speak to this. Freedom of Information Act. I know this. Maybe that the Freedom of Information Act has released information from conservative think tanks that show that once a Obergefell was in place, when the Supreme Court ran out of ways to deny gay marriage and to demonize gay marriage, that it is literally documented and now exposed through the Freedom of Information Act that the conservatives were like, shit, it's over. Can't demonize gay marriage. We got to move on to someone else. Who's it going to be? Trans people. And Mike, I'm just, again, no, you seem like a good guy, like you having some feelings, but I don't think you're a bad person. I'm just saying, look into what we're saying, because I know that what I'm saying is factually and in line and factual and data driven. Like, there's got to be another. There always has to be. It was gay people, but because of Obergefell, they couldn't do it anymore in the same way. Time hadn't
Yeah, I
marched
don't
on.
know. I
And
thought
before
we
it was
I
black
thought we
people.
could
No,
have like
just
more
think
of
about
a
the Three-Fifths
philosophical
Compromise.
debate on it. But
Before
you're
that,
like
it was
facts
don't let
consume
black people
people.
vote. Their
It's
brains don't
just
work so good. And then time marched on and they're like, crap, we can't do this to black people. Let's try it with women. Oh God, now women are demanding their rights. Like there's always has to be an other. You have
yeah.
to be
This
under
is
attack, Mike.
I
That's
have
the
a serious
nature of
question for you.
authoritarianism.
I have a serious
Someone has
I'm
to
with
be
you on that.
attacking
I'm
you.
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. 100%.
I have a serious question for you, Mike.
Yeah, and then
Why
I'm gonna
do
hop off.
Why do you care so much about what the trans community does?
Why do I care so? First of all, again, I only came up here and I was like, hey guys, why do you think that it is the case that so many people care so much? I'm not one of those people. I'm not obsessed with it, but I'm just an observer looking at the way this whole thing is going. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But when you ask why are people so obsessed with it, because I think that if you extrapolate just this microcosm, right, of like, oh, like, you know, again, what a small population of the earth, right? Like insane that it's getting so much attention, right? Well, it's a perfect example of a pretty threatening sentiment of like, I guess I would call it like aggressive, I don't like almost like hypocritical open-mindedness, you know what I mean? Like there's just kind of
So
like
what I'm
this.
hearing is you don't know why people are so focused on us. I told you why.
No, but again, I think that's, I'm just trying to
What
like
in the
put it in
hell
so
is
many words.
aggressive, critical, open-mindedness? That is the funniest oxymoron. Can I get that out of a shirt?
Hypocritical. It's a pretty, I think it's a
Aggressive,
pretty good.
hypocritical, open-mindedness is an oxymoron.
Yes, we have been
No, it's not.
gaslit
It's
into
it
defending.
is, that's the whole point of it. It's like you're preaching open-mindedness, and yet it's a little too fast for, you know, culture to move into.
Mike feels icky, everyone, so people
No, but again,
can't
like,
have
this is what
inalienable
this is the
human
definition
rights.
of a
Mike's
gaslight. So, like,
Mike's lagging behind. Mike's lagging behind science. He feels a little
what
icky.
science?
So I'm sorry.
Science.
I'm sorry, LGBTQIA. I'm sorry, women. You're gonna have to wait for Mike H and his icky feelings inside to catch up with where the
All
rest
I
of us
asked
are
you to
at. If
do was
everyone
to,
could
like,
just be patient, he's getting
introspectively
there.
look
Mike
toward
H is
that
letting
whole-
everyone know
Yeah,
he's getting
it's
there.
really, it's patronizing and it's like ignorant for you to go, oh, you're feeling icky. But like, again, think like, you know, philosophically,
Be
introspectively
patient with
about
Mike.
what that icky feeling means. That's what I'm saying. Be patient.
Are you a Phil bro?
Right? Look at culture. Think about it.
Are you a Phil
Understand?
bro?
Am I a film, bro?
A Phil bro?
No, he's
Philosophy, no.
absolutely not. No, he's
I
not.
don't know what that means.
He doesn't know what
But
it means, and he's not.
Okay, I was just double checking.
Mike's
Again,
feeling
it's just-
icky. Everyone have patience with Mike. Is that what you need, Mike? I have patience
well,
for
take
you.
that
I
as, like,
think,
a
listen, in a
grander
couple
view of it,
years, I
because
believe
for
you're
you to-
going to be like, oh, yeah, like you're the guy, like during Reconstruction, like after slavery, you're like, oh, maybe we should keep a few slaves. And then you're like, why is everyone rushing me to get rid of my slaves? And then, like, you know, down the line, it's like, oh, God, oh, wait, did I say that? That's what's going on right now with you. But that's fine. Mike's hesitant at this point. He wants to keep a
No,
few slaves.
I'm really not one of these guys. I'm just like pretty, like, I think if I think about it, I can understand both sides of this coin. And it's almost like you guys don't understand the other side. And that's why I kept asking, why do you think that other
hold
coin
on.
exists?
I gotta stop you there. There is no understanding why the right wants to get rid of my rights
Yeah,
to
there's,
be who I am.
there's
Absolutely
no coherent
not.
side to that. And every person I've talked to on this platform, which is 1,000 by now, maybe 2,000, none of them have had any idea what they're talking about in regards to trans people at all. But they have all of the opinions about it. They have all the bigotry and hatred towards it. They don't understand it. They can't explain it to me. They don't know that it's an actual diagnosis. They don't know that what the
Right.
best
Yeah. So it's probably
treatment
going to
for
take a
it
lot
is.
more time for culture
I
to
know.
open up to it.
It's,
So
well,
again,
not if it's going to be erased.
so to be
Not if
so
our president
like,
is erasing it.
They're literally
no, I'm
erasing.
saying this all happens with rubber bands. We're going through the craziest political time ever.
The word rubber band is not going to justify what Trump is doing with this.
They're literally taking.
No, but it does explain it. Like, don't be like, oh, I just don't understand. I don't get it.
So what you're saying
What's
is like,
wrong
it's
with their
whatever.
brains?
This
Well,
is
it's
a
like, hold
natural
on.
thing in society that we're going to see presidents erasing certain minority groups from the military. This is just part of it. Is that how you're coping with this?
No, I'm not. I'm just not over here going. I just don't like. You got to understand from both sides, and I get
There's
that.
no
That's
understanding
like
from the other side. I'm sorry. There's no. I
it's
will
it's
not
it's it's
understand the
definitely
other
run
side
amok, but
because it takes
it's
away my rights as a human being, for one, and two, my rights as a citizen. Because in my state right now, there's a bill that is trying to make it to where I can't change my birth certificate. I'm a man. I will have to be in the women's bathroom, which is what the right doesn't want. Two, it takes my right away to change my ID. It makes me put an F on there. That is not right because I have a full beard, bud. Three, in Texas, it makes it to where trans individuals are non existent. And on top of that, he is trying to take trans individuals out of the military. Do you think that is correct? There is no understanding both sides on that.
I guess I would like, like, and look, again, I'm coming from a very admittedly ignorant perspective. Like, I've not met anybody who's, I guess, how do I even know? It's like, okay, like, okay, why is he trying to do that, right? Is it because he already
Because he
won the
hates
election,
us.
right? So he's not trying to win an election, right? So it's not like he's trying to demonize to,
It's because he hates us.
Either that
But
or
why
it's
does he
it's
hate?
it's
Why
Well,
is
that's
he?
no,
no,
it's
I
not
literally
that.
the
told
Heritage
you
Hold on.
Foundation.
Well, listen, he is, I mean, he's born in a bygone era of boomers who the world has passed them by. That is true. But trans people existed when Trump was born. Like, that's not what it
It
is.
existed for
Like,
eons.
I mean, no, what you have to understand is that's the point. Think about 10 years ago, just as many, and I'm talking about percentage of the population now, scientifically, as many trans people existed 10 years ago as they do now
I so doubt
in American
that.
society.
I so doubt
I
Okay,
can tell you that we have.
hold on, and then I can get into the autism. I can get into that. Like, listen, increasing awareness. Like, you have become more aware, but
Wait, so
who?
are you
Wait,
telling me
let me
that
help you.
I
Like,
can find
wait,
that
let me.
statistic?
Can you just listen? Let me just finish this
Yeah,
because I want to
sometimes
make
people
sure.
have a
I
back
want to
and
land the
forth.
plane, Mike.
Elise, Jesus Christ.
Mike, listen to
I asked
me.
a
And I
question.
already explained this once, so that now I'm a little bit annoyed because I'm explaining it again. Before it was gay people.
Oh, don't do
Right?
this again. You think
No,
there's
I'm
more?
not going to
There's
do it
less.
again. Let me
There was
just
as many
finish my
trans people
point.
10 years ago.
Statistically speaking,
Show me
people
these
who are
statistics,
born
please.
as trans people, the same statistical amount that occur in nature and occur across different animal species existed 50 years ago as do now. Now, when you start saying, I feel like there's more. No,
okay,
wait, I'm not done.
No,
I'm not
you
done,
lost
Mike.
me.
Mike,
You lost
let
it.
me finish.
Where's your
Mike, now
statistics?
Mike, you're saying is, I, as a white straight man, am hearing about this more now. It feels like there's an infestation of gay people or there's an infestation of trans people swarming around me, and that's all I hear about. That is just you becoming aware. Do you understand the difference between statistical occurrences in nature of trans people existing for hundreds of years and you becoming aware because $1 billion ad campaign was then created to make you feel icky?
Okay,
And
it was not.
I would suggest there's a great Stanford professor. His name's Robert Sapolsky. Like, you have to understand when
I'll
you
check
are
him out.
being.
I'll check him out.
Yeah, and he
But
talks
I'll
about how
answer
we
the
have
question.
no free will. And I want you to understand that everything you think, you're a sum total of things that have happened for 100 years before this. You're a sum total of how much protein you had this morning. Like, you think that you are like coming up with these
Oh, does
autonomous,
TED Talk?
amazing
Yeah, I know, I saw
ideas,
that
Mike.
one.
You're not.
Yeah, sure.
You're
'Cause it's all
not. You're being
biological
influenced.
science.
No,
It's neurons, and
that's
I
not.
get it.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's not
no,
even just that.
you're referring to the
And
TED
then
Talk, but
you're
he's like,
being
let's-
reverse engineered through psyops campaigns. I worked
No,
in
but, like,
advertising. My job was to put
Can I answer
ideas
the-
into
you asked a
people's
question,
heads for
man, come
millions
on.
of dollars. And you are the exact idea of someone, like, we used to call them people who couldn't find their way out of paper bags. Like, that's you, Mike.
What? Okay, that's too
Why
much.
did you
Listen.
just discover trans people existed? Think about
Well,
it, because someone spent $1 billion to point it out to you.
That question. You're like, it's so backwards for you to think
you can get there, Mike. I know you can find your way out of the paper bag.
Stop fucking talking. All right, listen. It's so backwards for you to think that this $1 billion ad campaign is the chicken before the egg.
It was a series of ad campaigns that added up to $1 billion.
Yeah, an ad campaign is a series of ads. So I thought you were marketing.
A series of separate ad campaigns that add up to $1 billion.
Overall, you get what? If we're not, this is such a wild
You want to
That's
debate
not
semantics,
worth
I'm
it.
going to
That's not
correct
worth.
you. You don't want
Yeah,
to
but
debate me on
come
this.
on. Don't. Worthless interruption. Listen.
Mike,
Culturally speaking, and you're going to get me with the feelings over facts thing. If you're saying that I just now became aware, right? That awareness came from a very big swell in the zeitgeist, okay, where we're preaching love and openness so much that I don't want to say it's run amok, but it's definitely gone to this extreme where for sure, statistically, if you look at it, a ton more
Cite a
people are at least
source.
claiming to be trans now than they were before. And the threat to most people
Mike, I have a question
when it
for
comes
you.
to kids, you're not going to let me finish. I was really on a roll.
I understand that, but I have a question for you, and this will make sense to you. I hope. Are you left or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay. I want you to be left-handed.
Okay, here the thing is,
we're going to torture you and
there's
burn
never
you
been
at
an
the
instance
stake.
documented where somebody thinks they're right-handed and they turn out to be
Right.
left-handed. So that's a threat.
Mike, you are just showing your own ignorance. You have no idea what's happened throughout history. Oh, you're not aware of history, Mike? I'm shocked.
Felice, are you left or right-handed?
I'm right-handed, but my brother is left-handed, and I do have a degree in history, so I'm aware that many people were born left-handed throughout time and were literally tormented into becoming right-handed because if they were not, have you ever heard of the sinister left hand? Like in Italian, the word for left is sinistre. It's because they believed that anyone who was left-handed was from the devil and they would burn you at the stake. So anybody who was left-handed was forced to lie and become right-handed. Not because they weren't left-handed, but because some weird shit just happened. And like that's how you sound, Mike. That's how delusional you sound. You're just saying your feelings. Hey, I feel like I've heard about this more and it's icky.
No, seriously, let me make this really. I really want to make one last point. This is my last point. That feeling that you just explained, that feeling that kind of this like you're kind of submitting to your surroundings, right? Where you pretended to be left-handed because you're seeing everyone kind of encouraging right-handed.
No one was pretending to be left.
That can work the opposite way, and that's a really dangerous thing.
You just made something up that's not real. That's nothing you're saying is real right now. That's not what
I'm making your own point to you. You guys don't get what can anybody see what I'm saying here?
No.
If you're a kid and you're growing up and you're seeing all this like
Mike, I promise you, if you make a good point, I will acknowledge it. This is not one.
I never pretended.
If you totally disagree that it's if you think that it's completely impossible for a very impressionable child who grows up around a very, very trans-forward community, which again, but if you want to talk statistics,
here we go, Mike. I'll make an impression. I'll okay, bye. I'll completely derail your thinking. I grew up in a very Christian family. I went to a Christian academy. I then moved down to the South. There was no trans people around me. I didn't come out as trans until I was about 25 because I moved away from my town and figured out, oh, not everybody feels like me. Trans people.
Yeah, you made it. You're a real one.
No,
that's fine.
shut up.
But there's kids out there that are getting surrounded by that, and they're trying to fit in.
Shut up, Mike.
No, we're not trying to fit in. We are born this way. There is
don't say we. You're not a pretend.
There is a chemical makeup in our brains that makes us this way. We are literally born this way.
There are hundreds of scientific studies to back that up, by the way. Like, you're just the person that can't read.
Yeah, you're spitwadding this stuff, Mike. And this is what we have to call you out on. That's not true.
The way you're talking is dangerous. That is why a lot of us trans individuals go back into the closet or unalive because of people like you who have this mentality. That is why I do what I do and advocate for my community, because of people like you who think it's just we pretend or something like that. Why do you think so many left-handed people, I forget when it became okay for left-handed people to be to write with their left hand, all of a sudden it skyrocketed. No, it didn't. It just, people were left alone, and then all of a sudden it leveled out. Same with trans individuals. We are being left alone, quote unquote. Now we're not. That is why a lot of us came out. And if people would leave us alone and stop talking about us, we don't want to be the center of attention. We want people to leave us alone.
Yeah, we have science now that
Literally.
enables us to give us a diagnosis on these things, and we've also used science to figure out what the best treatment for the best outcomes for these things, and it's gender affirming care. And we also have science that show that very few people regret going through gender affirming care who've had a proper diagnosis of being gender dysphoric. That is none of your business. Until you guys can actually argue the science, you should probably sit out on the kind of the debate you're trying to partake in today.
There's actually a higher rate of regret of a knee surgery than there is of gender affirming care. Plus, cis individuals get gender affirming care, and 20 times more cis boys get top surgery than trans boys. And yes, I said boys as in under the age of 18.
Gynecomastia, yeah.
Yep. So,
but Mike doesn't. That's gender affirming care. Understand? And Mike, like, just like, and I have gotta keep an eye on you, Red Pill Bros. So I do listen to Joe Rogan, and when Joe Rogan keeps talking about that testosterone gel he's on, those testosterone shots, and he has RFK Jr. on. RFK Jr.'s like, everyone get on testosterone. That's gender affirming care. That's middle-aged white men saying, I don't feel quite like a man anymore, and so I'm interested in some gender affirming care.
I just had somebody on YouTube tell me to get testosterone because I'm a beta boy.
My dad, who
Joe Rogan's doing it.
My dad.
I think actually
you guys are all on gender affirming care, saying, "Hey, hey, us middle-aged men can be on gender affirming care because we're not feeling like men, but anyone else who wants the same exact medication as an American citizen should be denied it." Because I feel weird about it. I have no actual logical argument to back it up. I just feel weird deep inside, and I'm used to people valuing my opinions as gold. That's it. That's all I've got.
You guys don't believe that that like naturally born males should compete against naturally born females, though?
Oh my God! I'm a Division I female. I'm a Division I athlete, like full scholarship. So I would like to invite you. And this is the last. This is the last corner. This is the last corner where you weirdos retreat to when all your other arguments have failed. Let me help you. Every single piece of legislation conservatives have ever brought has damaged women. If you are about to do the I care about women argument, miss me with the fucking bullshit. Like, how stupid do you think women are? You do not care about, the only time you suddenly care about women, you don't care about the gender pay gap. You don't care about any of the way female athletes suffer or are marginalized. But all of a sudden, if it's to demonize Lakin, then all of a sudden conservative men care about women. It's fascinating to watch. You do not care about women. And I'm not talking about my feelings. I'm talking about statistically, mathematically. The legislation that conservatives bring harm women. And whenever that stops being true, then we can have a different conversation. But I just want you to know, Mike, as long as you're voting conservative, you do not care about women. Do not pretend. Do not pretend. You voted for a man who faced a jury of his peers and was found liable of sexual abuse. And you're like, that's great. That's how much I care about women.
I didn't say
Put this man in the White House. No, I'm just helping you through. I'm helping you through your way. Mike, don't ever fall back on, wait a minute, what about women who play sports? You have never cared about women if you vote conservative.
I'm just trying to highlight why the culture is up in arms about this, because it's a wildly illogical argument to make that a naturally born male
Mike's pretending he cares about women, everyone.
Dude, first of all, somebody on HRT for over 3 years likely has the same exact biological capabilities as a cis person of that same gender.
Hey, Mike.
That's true, dude. No. What? That is completely not a true. That is literally not true.
Trans women,
no.
How many trans women actually got into the Olympics pre-2020 or 2022?
I don't know. One is too many, I'll tell you that.
Nope. One. Do you know how many medals did she get?
One?
Nope.
Gold?
None. She didn't even make it past qualifying. How many trans men got into the
Mike
Olympics?
has no idea, Lakin, is the truth.
What do you mean I have no idea? You think
You
that
don't even
You've
know
been
the
yelling your
statistics.
feelings up here
Trans
for
women,
45 minutes.
specifically trans women, once they are on HRT after 2 years, they lose muscle mass, they lose fat distribution, they lose bone density. Me,
not
a trans
enough
man,
though, my man. Come on,
You-
not
you-
enough.
listen,
That's scientifically incorrect. You have no idea what you're talking
You
about.
just learned about this
Scientifically
30
correct, we're
seconds
talking
ago,
about-
and you're going to argue with us
If
about
you lose
the
bone
details?
density and you're starting with however much more density you have
Well,
to
then
begin
now
with,
you're starting a
you're
different
still at an
argument. No,
advantage.
hold on. You don't understand exercise science, so let me help you. That depends on if you went through puberty without puberty blockers or not. That's a whole other conversation about
Well,
bone
but
density. It depends on
gets
what
really-
state
yeah,
you were in
that-
when you went through puberty, and you can't even make that distinction. Mike, you are not qualified to be engaging in this
You
conversation.
don't know how
But
qualified
here's
I am
my
on this.
number one advice for you. And I want to just draw this because I want to hammer the point home. No conservative men care about women who play sports.
Oh my God,
All
you
the
made that point
legislation
really
you have brought,
abundantly
all the
clear.
legislation you have brought
I'm sorry
says
for the sins
at
of
every
my
turn
fathers.
you devalue women. You do not see women as humans, and in fact, you want to take our bodily
Look at
autonomy
you.
away.
Look what you're
Wait,
doing.
oh,
You're
I'm not
making me a
done. I'm landing the
boogeyman.
plane. Here
I
it
know you're
comes.
not done.
Here-
Go off, sister.
Oh,
Go
here
ahead.
it comes full stop.
What
And
the
let me
fuck
just
is your-
tie it to immigration because this is where it really boils my blood. And then when Trump was getting really desperate, when he was violating a Supreme Court ruling, a 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, he tried to say, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife filed a civil protection order against him. Never pretend that you care about women. 1 in 3 women in America,
You
and I
are
no, wait,
really
up, Mike, you're going to
haven't
learn numbers.
evolved.
Here, up, we're going on a math journey.
I didn't ask.
Here
For
comes the
you-
math
you gotta get
journey.
checked.
Here comes
You're
the
like
math
really
journey you're going
way
on.
off the rails
1 in
with
3
this.
women
Nope,
have
I
been
didn't bring any
essayed
of
in
this stuff
America.
up.
And let me help you.
Mike,
If I
let-
want to
let her finish.
reduce my chances of being essayed or graped in America, I will move to a neighborhood of undocumented immigrants. That is when I am most safe as an American woman, is in a neighborhood of undocumented immigrants. I am less likely to be assaulted there. So if you are saying you care about women, Mike, then what you would be saying is, hey, all those millions of unprocessed grape kits, all the women who aren't believed, let's get some justice for that. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying when it's convenient to demonize the trans community, when it's convenient to demonize people who are seeking due process, all of a sudden we pretend care about women? But all of the mathematics, all of the data bears out that you don't give up if we live or die. I am safer among undocumented immigrants.
Okay,
And
that's
never
very-
forget that, Mike.
Incredible. That was a really nice diatribe and seems very well rehearsed. I didn't make any of those points to your contrary, but
It's
you know,
numbers don't
very
lie,
succinct.
Mike. Numbers don't lie.
yeah,
Hey,
okay,
let me help you. The Stanford Economic Institute. It's called the mythical correlation between immigration and crime. You can look up that study. It's a
Did
great
I
one.
talk about this one time? You're
No, I'm just
jacking
helping you
yourself
with
off.
don't pretend you
Chill
care
out
about
with
women.
it.
Don't pretend you care about women.
No, I'm again from the start. I said I'm just trying to highlight the idea of why you guys are like so surprised about why the community is in some type of uproar about this. And if you boil it down, that's a big instigator of it. You know, for anybody to like deny, it's this again, it's this aggressive, hypocritical, open-mindedness where it's like, oh, like if you HRT, like you lose bone density, I would smoke any girl I know in any physical.
That is because
challenge.
you are a cis man going up against a cis woman.
That's not
That
true,
is
though.
not
Hold on. Fundamentally,
I mean,
that's
it's
not
not-
true.
I
You're
mean-
speaking to a Division I athlete. There are men I can
What did you
beat
do?
all
What did
day.
you do? Run? You sprint? What did you do?
No, well, I played volleyball, but I was better at basketball. But that's not the point. Like at any day,
No, but
there's
it
going.
is very
Wait,
much
can
the
I just
point.
explain
Mike,
something to you about
Mike,
real
it is
science,
so the
Mike?
point.
Mike,
You are
the
talking
science.
about
The point is
science
this:
now.
there are
This is
men.
not a-
There
how
are
can you
men who
possibly
are
have studied
uncoordinated.
science?
There are women who are coordinated. There are
Yeah, we're
men
talking
who
about
are taller
outliers
than
now.
other
What are
men,
you
right?
talking-
Like
that's
so,
just
there
such a
will
wild
always be
talking
women
point.
who can beat men at sports and men who can beat women at sports. All of that is true. None of that
Right,
has
but
to
what
do
is the
with.
fact? What is the again? You're talking about
Oh,
fundamentals.
you have never brought one fact to this conversation. Not yet. I'm still
fact
waiting.
Right.
Also
Again, so your
that
fact again.
women-
My fact is men are stronger than women and
No,
shouldn't be
no,
able to.
not
No.
always.
Okay. All right, you
Mike
guys are
is
wrong.
exhibiting deep insecurity right now and
No,
needs
you-
to
I'm telling-
reiterate that men are
I'm telling
stronger
you that
than
men are stronger than
women.
women. You're saying that that's not true. Who's lost here? Come on. Let's at least agree on that.
No, I'm saying that testosterone and strength is a spectrum. There are men that some women are stronger than. And that doesn't mean, hey, hold on. That doesn't devalue those men. Just some people, maybe their minds are stronger, right? Like, what is strength? You have this idea that you have to prove your masculinity, and that if you are not somehow stronger than women, then that devalues you in society. Like, I think you need to like take a deeper look at that. It's okay. You don't have to be better than women. It's not a necessity to exist.
You guys are making all these. Mike has an inferiority complex. Guys, I never put any of those ideas out there. You kind of just strawman this whole caricature of what like a right guy is. Again, I never said I was either way. I'm down the middle. I'm objective. I just try to like make sense of both sides. And I try. That's one part where I really like. I take a step back and I get very like hesitant about the true.
This is what I'm saying. I run 10 miles a day. I'm not saying everyone should run 10 miles a day. It's not because I'm some weird exercise science person. It's because of my mental health, and it just helps my mental health, right? But do I think there's a lot of men who, if we just start a foot race, I'm going to beat? Sure. But that's because, I have, genetically, I have some advantages, right? But am I going to beat all men? No. Am I in a race with men who run? Am I going to win? Of course not.
No, it's the fact that you would lose to most men. But it's the point that you have to try to point. No,
but Mike, you're doing it right now. You're proving my point. You don't realize it. It's this necessity to say, Mike, however good you need to be, or however better you need to be the women, like I want you to feel that, because I feel like you are. There's a deep insecurity that's weird. Like there's some men that can outrun me. There's some men that I can outrun. Like, period.
There's a lot more men that can outrun you than you can outrun.
But and there it is again.
You don't know that for a fact.
That is a fact. If you guys don't accept this, you guys lose all credibility.
Point out, like Mike's deep insecurity is flowing.
It's not a deep insecurity. This is a fundamental fact of science.
This is not even what we're. This is even not credibility. This is not what we're arguing. We're arguing that a male on HRT for 3 years is going to have the same advantages as Felice. They're going to be an equal playing field per the science, per multiple studies. Multiple studies. Just because you say no chance doesn't make it untrue.
Hey, Pickles.
That is a cope.
Hey, Pickles, do me a favor. Pull up.
Show me your science on that. Like, it's never ever happened.
Yeah, we have science on it. I'm sorry this is happening to you.
Mike, you have not brought one study, one fact. Like, you can't be like, what? That's true. What Pickles said is true.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. Next time I do one of these things, I'll have some
pull up
statistics.
Patricio Manuel, the boxer, Pickles?
Are we going to talk about outliers again, guys? We're not paying attention.
Nope. Like, this is not an outlier. This is if a trans man turns around and
dedicates his entire life to training and takes art, like all that, then you can become a competent boxer.
You were the one that brought up trans individuals in sports, and I'm proving a point. If any person, trans or not,
this is 3 years on HRT, by the way. This is 3 years on HRT.
It doesn't matter.
That we just made. That was literally what we were talking about.
Literally
what Pickles was talking about. You repeated the claim that Pickles made. So
also, I've been on HRT.
I'm joking about it because clearly this is way more than 3 years on HRT. This is a whole life dedicated.
Okay, and guess what? I've been on HRT for 5 years. If I put in the work, I could look like him. The point is, you want to sit here and say that trans women don't belong in women's sports. So that means I, or this guy right here, belongs in women's sports. He has a record, I believe. What is the record?
I think maybe you make a whole 2 different leagues,
For what? The
1% of our population?
1%?
The 10 people
because
that were
Mike
in college.
feels icky. There has to be a separate league because Mike H feels icky. Like,
do you realize?
No, it's a really difficult gray line in society to draw.
No, there's not. Just leave us alone and let us compete.
It seems like you just have no information on this. You just want separate but equal. Sounds familiar?
Oh, you
That
guys
also goes back to Jim Crow. That's back to slavery. Here we go. Mike's like,
You guys
can I
make
just keep a few of my
absolute
It's the same
slaves?
bullshit
You
that they
guys,
want to
I'm
do with
still into
bathrooms.
slavery. Can I keep a few black people in my basement as slaves?
What is
Or
this
do I have to give
again,
them
guys?
all up
Straw man.
immediately?
Look up straw man.
It is
Figure
not a
that one
straw
out for
Don't
man.
know. That's not a
yourselves.
straw
Yes,
man.
it
You have
is.
no.
I do this
it's
on the
not.
daily, Mike. I
say
walk
that
people like
men
you
are
on the
stronger than
daily.
women.
Oh, that's
and
a sound line of logic.
and all of a
You
sudden
don't
I'm a
know what a
slave
straw man
owner. You
is.
guys
But
got to
bless
just,
your
again,
heart.
it's hypocritical ignorance. You preach acceptance and open-mindedness, and I say that men are
No,
stronger than
I
women,
don't
and
preach
all of a sudden I'm a
acceptance and
fucking slave
open-mindedness
owner.
because
You
I'm the
guys got to, hey, by
intolerant
the way,
left.
police, you do 10 miles a day for mental health, bump it up to 20. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, Mike owned, just dominated.
And he's a runner.
Ran away in shame. Mike won, everyone. If anyone ever tells this story again, just say Mike H slunk away in shame. Never presented one fact.
Also, Pickles.
I think that was healthy for him, though. I think that was good. He needed that.
Pickles. Dr. J is in the chat. His new backup. Dr. J, if you're still in here, please comment.
Yeah, hop on up if you need more
He
follows on your
can't.
backup. He can't
He
come
can't yet. He's only
You
at
can't
100
join
and
a
something.
live when you're under a certain, like 400 or something. It's like there's some arbitrary number. Or did that change?
Yeah, it's still some weird number.
Phil, thank you for the $3.
Ask Dr.
Mike
J,
doesn't understand that you
There we
all
go.
know the other side.
Ask
Mike
Dr.
doesn't
J.
just agree with your stance. He's not understanding the difference between the string pullers, Republican leaders, and the ones that pulled the strings, constituents. I agree. That's actually a really good statement. I'm sorry I didn't read that earlier.
We have a few guests I'm going to cycle through real quick, and
Great
then
point,
I'm also going to give a shout out real quick to this movement we're advocating for today. Tomorrow we have people marching on the Capitol advocating for a rally against fascism. This is to combat the erasure of LGBTQ and minority people from military history as per President Trump's instructions. This is extremely concerning thing and a movement towards fascism, and we are raising money. We're just under $1,000 of hitting our goal. So if you guys have $1 or $5 or anything to add, Cash App is $info1 fight X fascism, or you can text veteran1 to 53555. Please consider making a donation. We're going to be ending this live here in probably less than an hour. We've been live for about 3 hours now.
You can go ahead and drop me Pickles.
All right. Much love, Lakin. Thank you.
I followed you, Lakin. Pleasure
Thank
to
you,
meet you.
Felice. It was nice to meet you. I've been following you for a while. I'm actually one of Lainey's mods, so.
Oh, love Lainey. Hero.
What's up, JNC?
Hey guys, I hope y'all are doing well. I just wanted to come up. I was going to say something to Mike, but I am a veteran and I also work for the VA, so it's been real fun over here on my side with all this craziness that's going on amongst the DEI stuff and the LGBTQIA stuff and things like that. But I wanted to draw a point is that not too long ago I helped with a claim and this is the kind of stuff that we're going to lose, right? Is that this trans veteran, male to female, a 90-year-old trans veteran was submitting her first claim. And the people who say like, oh, well, trans, this is just something new. It's not new. And it's definitely not new within the military. And and I am the B out of the LGBTQIA community. And the fact of the matter is, when I go to the VA now, or even in my work, the language has been changed. The flags have been taken down. It is affecting, I feel like I'm going to cry. It is affecting our providers on the daily. It's affecting all of our nurses. It's affecting everybody within the hospital that I'm at. As soon as our POTUS took, which a lot of people don't even talk about because it didn't even make news. We lost a veteran in the Syracuse, New York clinic. She unalived herself because of all this trans rhetoric. The fact of the matter is that most of the people who have something to say about us, they never once signed their name on that dotted line up to their life for this country, but they have all the wants to say about who can serve, when they can serve, and what they can do. But you know what? All those people who are laying in Arlington Cemetery right now, that, oh, by the way, DEI took away like being able to find certain graves, such as the Tuskegee, airmen and things like that, and other important people in history at the Arlington site. We're erasing this history of ours. And you know what? This happened May 6, 1933. If you think that we're not there in 1930s Germany right now, this is where we're at. Right? They came after the disabled. Look, I have an autistic daughter. Look what they're doing with autistic people. They came after the LGBTQIA people, right? Everybody says, well, we don't have all these scientific studies and things. Yeah, we did. We did have those. Those were in that library, that burning on May 3rd, 1930, or May 6th, 1933. We had all that stuff. And it was destroyed. And it was destroyed through, people were like, well, when Mike was talking about, well, why? Why do people feel so icky about it? It's religion. It's steeped in, look, my mom is extremely religious. We are no contact right now. But let me tell you, I ain't never heard that woman talk about trans anything up until this man started running for office. I watched my semi-sane parents, I've lost them to the cult. And until they decided to double back around, right, which came February,
Spin the block.
It came February when I tried to talk to my dad about what was happening in the VA and how my healthcare was being affected and how veterans were being affected and all this stuff. The things that my dad said to me, that was it. We haven't spoke since February. Now my dad is with my mom. They are no contact. I'm no contact with them until they can pull their heads out of their bottom orifices. I refuse to engage because every day I'm seeing my fellow veterans suffer. Every day I'm working these claims every day. You have no idea how many trans people were in the military. You have no idea how many gay people were in the military. You have no idea because you don't know. You never once wanted to find out. But you know what? If they come home in that body bag, oh, now you care. But then when you find out that they were, LGBTQIA, all of a sudden you got something to say. You didn't mind them signing their name on that dotted line and putting their life at risk for your freedoms. But now all of a sudden it's a problem, right? I mean, look who the sec def is, for goodness sakes. That man is bigoted, anti-feminine, like he does not like women.
Incredibly accused in a 25-page police report of rape of a Republican blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman.
Literally, that is the mantra of this administration, right? They all have some type of grape behind them, some weird child thing, some weird, like, the moment that man said his daughter's name, he didn't even call, when he was asked, hey, did you XYZ and had a child outside of marriage, he didn't even acknowledge it was his daughter. He said that little girl's name is whatever her name was, and she's a Christian, and who cares about that? She's 7 years old, and her mother, he never once acknowledged his own child. And y'all are just signing on the dotted line for these people. But hey, I digress. That's all I wanted to come up and say, is that I handle these claims all the time. And also, by the way, if these people really cared about women and children, they would stop. They would prosecute people more swiftly for grape and SA and things like that. 1 in 3 women experience it. There's a whole team for the VA called the Military Sexual Trauma Team. And they handle these claims every day. Every day. And for anybody who sits and says, oh, well, why do you all wait forever? And I'm an SA survivor of the military, so MST is part of me as well. But at the end of the day, is that you all aren't going to sit here and vote for a man who said that he wanted to date his daughter, a man who was found liable for rape, and a man whose first wife, wrote a whole book about domestic violence within their marriage, and sit and say he's such a great guy. But I'm going to go because I am still working on claims, but I just wanted Mike H to know that trans people have been around for a very long time, and history always repeats itself. And we're sitting in 1930s Germany right now. It looks a little different because of social media, but we're here.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing.
I followed you. Nice to meet you. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we've got 2 more guests in the box. I don't know if either of them are opposition. Hello, Cog.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm afraid not. I hope you'll forgive me, but I won't take up too much of your time. I'm somebody who largely agrees with you, but I did want to step up. Did I hear correctly that about 2 guests ago there was somebody who was claiming that the NSDAP were socialist or workers' party?
That did happen.
Okay. So I just wanted to step up because so I have 2 degrees specializing in the social history of the Third Reich. So it's an area of interest for me, and I come across this a lot. People claiming that the NSDAP were socialists or some sort of workers' party. And I just wanted to sort of like give a source that I found particularly useful in getting rid of this, because we could talk about how like the DAF or the Volksgemeinschaft was largely the Wirtschaft, the war economy, and how this ultimately all of the nationalization projects were ultimately set up to benefit the war economy, and benefiting corporations like IG Farben, Krupp, and other corporations. And we could go into all that. But the thing that I found most effective as a source for sort of disproving this is a quote which I can share with you between it's from a conversation that was witnessed between H. Mann and Otto Strasser.
He's saying was Hitler pretended to be a nationalist to nationalize all the corporations, to use them in the war effort, and to pretend like everyone was going to share in equity to get everyone moving into the same direction in the war effort. And then he pulled the rug out from under them. Sorry.
Yes.
Beautiful what you're saying.
100% agree.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Love history.
I absolutely agree. But the particular quote between from Otto Strasser and Hitler, Otto Strasser was making points sort of in favor of the idea of moving in a more kind of what we'd see as a more left-wing direction, because this was the early years of the NSDAP, and Hitler responded to him saying, that word socialism is in trouble. I have never said all enterprises should be socialized. On the contrary, I maintain that we might socialize enterprises prejudicial to the interests of the nation. So that's the war economy bit. Unless they were so guilty, I should consider it a crime to destroy essential elements in our economic life. There is no reason for granting the workers a share of the profits, a share in the profits of enterprises that employ them, and more particularly for giving them the right to be consulted. So I just want you to imagine
that's capitalism. That's capitalism.
Just imagine Bernie Sanders saying that. Just try to imagine in your head Bernie Sanders being like, we should have a war-oriented economy, and the war-oriented economy, workers should get no say in it. It's ridiculous.
Working towards and going to your unalivings, but you don't get anything in any of this. Yep, that's capitalism.
Yes.
And 100%. For conservatives to argue that Hitler was anything but a capitalist is delusional.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's honestly there's so many things that you can go into with this. Like for example, the Strength Through Joy program that the DAF had, the Deutsche Arbeiterfrontier, the German Labour Front in English. The idea of the German Labour Front's Strength Through Joy program was that they would have these sort of like celebrations of German heritage in their workplace, which sounds like, oh yeah, it's the German Labour Front, so it must be like kind of on the side of the workers. Kind of sounds like a union, but actually, if you didn't do the extra work for your employer for the celebrations for Strength Through Joy, you would get carted off to a concentration camp. So it would put an extraordinary amount of power in the hands of employers. It is really quite shocking. But yes, I can share the citation for that quote with you if one of you wants to follow me. I've got the academic citation for it. I also did want to mention.
I love your brain, and I have followed you, so.
Thank you, Felice.
It's a
appreciate
pleasure
it. I
to
believe we
meet
have a
you.
mutual friend, RTP.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've got a mutual friend. Do
So-
you not get along, or?
What do you mean? I am just a person that exists on the internet, but I did
see.
follow you, and I love your brain.
Thank you. I just want to say just quickly before I go, because I said I wouldn't take up too much of your time. If Dr. J also wants to message me, I do have a way around that thing with the followers block. If that person does want to message me, I can potentially help them get around that as well. But no, thank you for having me up. I really appreciate it, Pickles and Felice. Cheers.
Anytime. Yeah. Thank you so much for the little nugget of knowledge.
Amazing. God, I need to learn
that.
more. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Love learning.
Got a few more people in the box chat. Tap the screen. We're almost at 200K. Also, I'm going to do capitalism again. If you guys want to help us rally against fascism, we have a bunch of creators going to DC tomorrow at 11 a.m. through, I believe it's 4 p.m. And we are just shy of $1,000 of meeting our goal. I'm sure it's less than that now. I haven't been able to keep tabs. This is going to their Venmo, not mine, so I'm not sure, or a Cash App. But if you text veteran1 to 53555 or Cash App info1 fight X fascism, that is how we're raising funds. There's also a website that you can go to. It's rallyagainstfascism.org. And there's a way to donate at the top right, and that'll be used for water, table, porta potties, etc., and for traveling expenses for some of these people. I guess maybe gas, food, but yeah, there's a bunch of big creators going, and I find this movement to be extremely important. It's about the erasure of LGBTQ and minority groups in our government and our military.
It's right above Pickle's head, the Cash App. Right above his head on the screen, Cash App.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello. Hey, I missed the end of your conversation with Mike earlier, and I just wanted to point out he kept asking why do people hate trans people, and I myself am married to a beautiful black man, and it's the same thing with him when it comes to racism. People just hate because they hate. There's really no reason. It was getting on my nerve every time he asked it. And I just wanted to point that out. It was bothering me a lot. So.
Well, and can I just add on to that? Because I, not to get into psychological and scientific, actual double-blind studies, but I want to say this, because I was an SA victim, and my father also is very super evangelical, also an SA victim, Hispanic and black, and has a lot of backwards views about the LGBTQIA community. There's an older generation of people that believe that if you were, let's say, SA'd, especially as a man, which is considered, your power has been taken away, then that happened to you because a gay man, or let's say now that has evolved into a trans person, did that to you. And I think it's helpful to understand actual science. Pedophilia and hebephilia, right? Pedophilia is a sexual orientation in itself. If you were a child and you were abused prepubescent, right, before puberty, that's not a gay person. That's not a trans person that did that to you. That is a pedophile, right? During and after puberty, hebephiles, right? That's what happened to you then. That's its own sexual orientation. Right? If you were a child, I feel like there's a huge misunderstanding, particularly because I'm indigenous Mexican and black. And I find in those communities, there's a lack of knowledge around this, that if you were SA'd or, you feel like if you're one of these people that believes like trans people in the bathroom is a problem, you have a fundamental misunderstanding of what and who are predating against you, right? And outside of those orientations, right, there are just people who predate, who are looking for prey, right? Like opportunities to hurt people, who are devoid of empathy. All of these things exist, none of which have to do with either the gay community or the trans community. Yeah, exactly. Like so that it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of science and what is going on. Like that's what Mike H had.
Yeah. I don't know. It was every time he asked that, because he just kept asking it in between like every like statement y'all were talking about, it just getting under my nerves. Because like I said, my husband, beautiful black man, he deals with racism all the time. And just like, hating trans people, there's no reason to be racist. There's no reason to hate. It's just evil people doing evil things. And it just, I don't understand being like a person that's like that. I don't understand like judging anyone. So
if you want to protect children, it's not about guarding the Walmart bathroom. I'm not saying no child could be assaulted in a Walmart bathroom, get that right. But when myself included are the victims of SA, it's people that have access, familial or other types of connections, usually through church or community. That's who your children are in danger from, not the Walmart bathroom. But I mean, I'm just saying statistically, if you want to protect your children, it's familial relations that you need to protect them from.
all right. Well, I love you, Pickles. Love your debates. Love your streams.
Appreciate
love everything you do. I don't know how to leave. My first time ever joining the live, so
I got you. I love you back. Have a good
I
day.
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yellow.
Hey,
What's up, Dolphin?
gotta love them buttermilk biscuits. Hi, Felice.
Hi. I
How
feel
you
like this is
been?
good. How are you? I'm better now. Better than I was last week.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to come up and clarify some stuff. One thing that I can't stand are bullies, right? Hi, Clara. Um, I have been bullied my whole life because I was born physically disabled, right? And I just, that man, Mike H, big bully. I don't like people that put people down. Not one person in the world deserves to feel like shit from anybody. I went to Shriners Hospital for Crippled Children's. I met people around the world there with multiple different problems and people that were worse off than me with the same exact diagnosis as myself. People who couldn't even walk without braces. I was in the dentist office the other day with my mom because she had to have her teeth pulled. There was an older woman sitting there, and all she kept doing was staring at this woman who was around my age, who also, because I was talking to her, went to Shriners Hospital. She was in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, partial leg gone, other leg completely gone. And all she did was have this nasty look on her face, like she could not stand to look at her. Just like that thing that's currently in office does constantly to every single person, except for the millionaires and the billionaires and corporations. One other thing that I've been trying to scream to you in the comments, Felice, not here, but in your own. I'm Mexican indigenous also. I just look like an iPhone flashlight. Just to clarify.
Oh, that's true. Phenotypes don't necessarily denote, genetic heritage.
So,
and I appreciate you every day in my lives, by the way. This is the first time I feel like we've ever talked, but just letting you know, thank you. I feel like you keep me sane, so thank you.
We talked a couple of we talked
I know,
on Saturday.
but you know what I'm saying. Like always a
Yeah,
pleasure.
well, yeah, actually, like spoke. Felice, one of these days, because Pickles has even popped into my live. I do music, dancing, fun, positivity, mental health matters.
Guys, follow Dolphin. She has the
I do not do
dopest
political.
lives. The dopest lives, chat.
Like one of those lives where everyone's dancing in a box. I watch those.
She's fucking jamming.
And I hope you'd enjoy the music. It's back in the day when I was a kid. I'm 45, so you know.
Love it.
So if you guys want, oh, thank you for all the follows. I didn't expect this. But anyways, you guys enjoy your day. Felice, I love you to death. Your mind and I just love how you're constantly, yeehaw, how you're constantly going, how they can't find their way out of a paper bag. I think that's like my favorite thing that you say.
Great analogy, isn't it? Thank you so much for your support. I just want you to know, like, you mean the world to me. I love your brain too. I read all your comments. My brain works fast.
I'm pretty damn smart for my good enough diploma, you know? I'm actually pretty darn smart. I don't like to brag, but apparently, because I just went to see a psychologist and stuff, found out that my IQ is at 168. So,
wow.
You're a genius. We have a genius here.
But I don't know how. Years of, rug use, by the way, also recovering addict. And, my yay day was before it was a day. My clean date was January 6th, 12 years this year.
I love that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So,
congrats.
Yeah. So look, Pickles, whenever you're going to battle again, by the way, I'm going to be battling Manda Rose. I don't know when. So if you guys can, I'm going to need everybody's freaking help that I can get.
Well, I will, if I see you, I will definitely be supporting.
Let's see, I threw you a Leon. I've thrown Johnny a Leon. I think I threw you. What did I throw you?
You talking to me? You've thrown me a Leon and a lion. Oh, you're talking to Felice?
Yeah, well, I don't know the names of gifts. So if that's what I have so many things going on in my brain. I'm not sure, but
I love distracting you with the flashy lights.
My ADHD. Like, did you guys see those lights?
Makes me smile every time, honey. Anyways, you keep doing you. Watch that freaking Arizona weather. Today it is 80 degrees or 80 some odd degrees right now here in Michigan. It is humid as heck. It is raining. My back is killing me. Scoliosis, spina bifida, 2 rods in my spine. I feel everything. So, oh, sorry about that. Uber. Anyways, I'm gonna get off. Not
Mortal
literally,
Kombat? That was awesome. Muffin, you're like a stand-up comedian. I feel like this is like you just did like a set or something. Like this is like a drive-by. What is happening?
Do in my lives. I try to make people laugh. I try to make people smile. If you're on the phone with that damn computer trying to get a hold of somebody to talk to, and you've had one of them damn days, and I'm live, come on in. We'll have a good time.
You're amazing. Truly.
Love you, Felice.
Genuinely. You're amazing.
Love you, Dolphin.
Keep on keeping on.
Have a good day.
You too, bro. Hey, drop me so I can give you a little wee.
All right, give me a wee.
Wee!
What a great human being.
I know.
God.
She's the best.
Seriously, I guess I'll just keep living. Sometimes I want to give up, but those are the types of people where you're just like, I guess I'll keep going.
Hello.
Hey, good evening. Pickles, how you doing?
Doing good.
Friendly, of course. I've been here many times, just never been on your panel. But just real quick, could you possibly do me a favor and humor me on a couple points really quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Since I know you like to bring up receipts. Could you pull up the graph that shows left-handedness in the United States of America?
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to prove a point with that previous gentleman that was going off about trans people.
Yeah.
They've always existed. Same thing with left-handedness. What happens is that we had demonized it, not only in the Catholic religion, but let's also talk about how Canada and the United States with our indigenous schools. If people don't know, and Felice, forgive me for broaching a sensitive subject, but if anybody's ever seen a t-shirt or a poster or whatever with a purple hand, this is where this comes from. They literally restricted the blood flow to these children's hands to the point where it turned purple.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, what happened is that once society realized, oh, left-handedness really isn't a big freaking issue, you see how it spiked up, but then it plateaued?
Yeah.
That plateau is where it's always been. There's always been that percentage of people that are left-handed. That doesn't change. It's the same thing with trans people. They're not coming out of the woodwork, okay? They've been there. It's just the fact that now they feel safe, or at least used to feel safe, where they could come out and be their actual genuine selves. Now, when he, of course, pivoted to that freaking point of, oh, you want men competing against biological women in sports? I'm sure both of you know how many athletes are in the NCAA right now, approximately.
Like over 500,000, and there's less than like 10 trans athletes.
650K. And there's less than 10 trans athletes. It's basically a rounding mathematical error from non-existence. So miss me with
I tried to make them. I tried to make that point. Mike wasn't good with math.
Well, I don't think Mike was good with anything.
He had feelings. Let's just. Mike had feelings. He was feeling things.
I will give you that. He was good on espousing his butthurt feelings. The other thing, real quick, having spent 4 years in Germany, because my father served in the military and I spent 4 years over in Germany, could you do me a favor and bring up the poem First They Came?
Yeah. Oh, I love that poem.
So when I hear this argument that the schmazzies were socialists, can you tell me why that was one of the first groups they actually targeted?
Yeah. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Yep. And then, ironically, the gentleman that wrote that when everything started transpiring, he was actually in favor of that whole situation, and then realized quickly what was going on and changed course. And again, I don't want to say history completely repeats itself because it never truly repeats, but it echoes really fucking hard. And we're seeing all that again here right now. So just a couple points, anytime they bring up that's one of my first, projectiles that I fired down the chamber, so to speak. But that's two of the points.
And autism is similar, right? Like you have to understand the history of how mental health was treated, right? If you were, the autism spectrum is amazing, right? Like I'm, as a teacher and someone really into early childhood development, now the autism spectrum is full of brilliant people that see the world in patterns and interesting ways that help us innovate and learn. But before, what would have been considered the autism spectrum would have had you institutionalized, tortured, electrocuted, sometimes lobotomized. That's where they drove a metal spike through your frontal lobe. So was anyone seeking out an autism test? Like, was there any benefit to being on the autism spectrum in the past? Absolutely mother effing not. Was there any benefit to being neurodivergent in any way? No, there was not. You actually would be institutionalized and as a result probably abused and then end up like in the morgue underneath the institution. Like you have to understand history to the place of Mike H, this privilege he sits in to be like, why have I never heard about trans people? It's complete ignorance.
Oh, I 100% agree. And ironically, on the autism front, do you know who else created registries of people that had mental disabilities and or physical disabilities?
Yeah.
The schmazzies.
Yeah.
Correct. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, history doesn't completely repeat, but it sure echoes really hard. So, yeah.
What eugenics was.
Well, yeah, I'm born in 74, so I'm right in the heart of Gen X.
No, eugenics.
Eugenics.
Eugenics. Sorry, I didn't enunciate.
I apologize. I heard Gen X. I'm like, damn, you pegged me hard right there.
You people that drank out of a water hose and didn't come home before dark.
We weren't allowed to come home before dark. Be real. But yeah, I just wanted to make those points real quick, and it's just infuriating that people refuse to educate themselves and they're willing to literally believe propaganda over truth and facts. So just
Someone
want
brought up Asperger's. That's why you can't call it Asperger's anymore, because apparently wasn't that like it was a schmatzy, right? Like, am I
Right.
getting that right? Like in the autism community, you can't say, you're not supposed to say that, because that is actually the name of like a schmatzy.
absolutely correct. And then the last question I had real quick for you, Felice, just because I was absolutely rolling the other day when you said this, is the self-inflicted podiatry, is that trademarked?
Holistic podiatry. No, it's not trademarked. I love saying it though, because that is the truth, right? That's what we were watching. Ballistic podiatry, people shooting themselves in the foot left and right. But you know where I can't even remember, but if you want to look up where I think I originally might have heard that, I don't want to credit it to Ron DeSantis, but I think it might have been. Do you remember that weird debate where Gavin Newsom debated Ron DeSantis? For some reason, if I had to guess where the first place I ever heard that, I think it was remember when he had the poop map in his pocket and pulled it out? It might be Ron DeSantis, and so trademark it if you will, but that might be where it
Go
came
back
from.
and watch that.
But it is a great point, right? Ballistic podiatry is what
So I was
conservatives are engaged in 24 hours a day.
I was curious because it absolutely set me off, and I was
No, we
laughing.
should trademark it. Get on it and let's sell some shirts.
All right, merch, got it, bet. All right, thank you guys. I got to get going, leaving work, so have a good night.
You too. Chat, this is my alt account. If you guys haven't given it a follow, this is what I'll use if I'm ever just streaming random stuff, or if this account's ever banned. This is my alt account. I was streaming Lego building on it last night. I'll probably stream some gaming on it here and there too. But that's the account I go on. I should also probably do more personal TikToks on it. Dolphin was there last night. Hello?
Good afternoon, Pickles. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Deb?
I'm good. There's two things I want to tell you. I was so proud of you guys on You Know What America. I watched you. You're pretty tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love when people figure out Pickles is not a midget. Or
No,
sorry, that's a
yeah.
horrible. I should not have used that word. Little person. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pickles is extremely tall. The first time I realized was when you like Chelsea political mom sent me a photo of her next to Pickles, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, I saw him.
He's like 2 feet taller.
Anyway,
than
Pickles,
Chelsea.
can I share you a story with you?
Sure.
Kind of a retribution thing that I did. So I'm a teacher in the red state of Idaho. And during one of my parent-teacher conferences, and I'm bilingual, I speak Spanish.
I lived in Idaho for 5 years. I feel your pain.
Oh, please. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore at all either. Anyway, so during my parent-teacher conference, I had a Hispanic woman and Latina. I don't know. And she asked me if she could have the school number, and I said absolutely. And she started crying, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she says, I need to, so that I can, if ICE ever comes into town, I can call the school and let them know my kids are not coming. I said, well, they can't come into the schools. The superintendent already told us this. And she goes, yeah, but did you see the post? And I said, what post? And she showed me this post, Pickles and Police, that was so disturbing. This guy had posted on our town website the number to ICE, and he said, 2 families down, this is so fun. And then this lady commented and, offered money and everything. She says, is this true? Because I have addresses. She's a school bus driver here in the state of Idaho. So I called, it said right there, bus number, the district, everything. So I called the superintendent office and I let them know what she did. because that's in breach of everything we have as far as confidentiality goes. And he called me back the next day and informed me that she no longer works for that district. I just wanted to share that with you because I think that horrible people need to be, yeah, they need to answer to nice people. So I just wanted to share that story with you. That we are doing good things even if we live in an ugly state.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of like people, like a neighborhood just of people forming a human chain while these undocumented immigrants ran into their house and like locked the door. You know, like like good people. It doesn't matter what state you live in, where you are. You can be a decent person and do decent things. Like,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
That means a lot coming from you guys. Really, it does. You're such beautiful creators. I'm a 61-year-old lady, and I just appreciate. I have so much hope in you guys for our country. And I wanted to just thank you for everything you're doing. But I thought I'd share that with you because it's kind of a funny
You made me
story.
cry. You're so amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. And I'm sorry you live in
Well,
Idaho. I
do
live
too,
there.
and
The struggle
I
is
work
real.
with migrant kids, and they're terrified and scared, and so I just inspire them and make sure that they know that in our space we are safe. So you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Can you drop me down, please?
I got you. Thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you. Yeah.
Understand the children are American citizens. So when we don't educate them, what we're doing is limiting their ability to contribute to the US economy. It is biting, like, that's why I say for all bigots and random MAGA people who want to make these uneducated arguments, like, by not allowing what you call anchor babies or American citizen children to be educated in a safe space, what you're doing is biting off your nose to spite your face. It is the younger generation that has to support your retirement, to pay into it. Like, and if you understood that, you would stop violating the sanctity of schools. But because none of you can do math or read, that seems to be a problem. I used to be much nicer about this, but the more I see this progressing and us basically the architect of our own demise, read a book, MAGA. It's time. It's time to read a book and learn some math.
Guys, we just hit the 3-hour mark. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get an update on how much we've raised.
Are literally crippling our own economy by every day undocumented immigrants don't show up to work. You are making it harder for yourself to retire. 98 billion is what undocumented immigrants paid into your retirement that they will never take back in 2023. And then you let Elon Musk have access to IRS data to terrorize people. So now they're not showing up to work anymore. Not one thing that your own bigotry and your icky feelings have ever done has benefited you, MAGA. Keep going, though. Keep going.
Someone said, am I going to DC? I'm not. So I'm not one of the creators going to DC for this, but I'm doing what I can to advocate.
I am a supporter of pickles.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't followed Felice by now, what are y'all even doing?
God, I could go into Palantir, but I don't want Peter Thiel to come and unalive me in the middle of the night. Someone said we should talk about Palantir. Yeah, like, I choose life.
Yeah, I can't wait for shelves to be empty. I had someone straight up just telling me any sort of projection that we have with the economy or anything like that, MAGA's coping mechanism is that they're just merely projections. It's not actually going to happen. And yeah, that is going to be our reality. You guys are in for a harsh awakening when Walmart, Target, all of these others large retailers that are saying this is going to happen will have bare shelves in a few weeks. It's gonna be the reality of it. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys. I know you guys are just cheering this on because you're completely ignoring reality, but I guess we'll have to wait until you're hungry.
Lack of knowledge of how supply chain works.
Yeah, until you guys are hungry and running out of toilet paper and bare necessities. I guess that's how you'll learn how stupid Trump is. That's what
On
it's gonna
Sunday,
take.
Scott Besson was like, hopefully everyone's stocked up. I heard him. He's like, hopefully corporations stocked up. I just want it because I use VPNs and listen to news that are translated. I was listening to the Chinese government speak over it, news that they're spreading through Australia with an Australian VPN last night. And like, they are in no contact with Donald Trump. I just want to be clear. They still want JD Vance to apologize for saying that Chinese people are peasants. They are still not past that. And they are expressing that if Trump says that he's in contact with anyone who can negotiate with the government of China, it is 100% a lie.
Yep.
And we are probably 4 weeks out from the shortages that Pickles is describing.
Yep.
They will win. They are already winning. And I also want everyone to just, and maybe the next time I get my shit together, I've been sick for a week, and do a live, I will break it all down. Like the trade relationships we've lost, it doesn't matter if the tariffs go away. We will never recover. Like this is irreversible what this man has done. Great job, MAGA. Keep up the great work. You guys are firing on all your feelings. It's going great. Keep up those feelings. It's doing great.
Hello. Earl, are you there?
Oh, came up by accident.
Oh, okay. Thanks for tapping. What do we get? TP and pet food? Yeah. Or a bidet. If you have a bidet like me, you're good.
We don't actually we're not getting toilet paper from China. I actually don't. It's not like it's not COVID, which we never had a shortage of toilet paper during COVID. That was a perceived shortage that scared everyone.
Yeah, I think people just rushed and bought it, and we just had stocking problems. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about Hillary's emails, you guys? Hillary's emails.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, it's not Trump's fault. It's Hillary's emails' fault. So there you have it. Problem solved. Oh, you can buy bidets on Amazon, by the way.
Yeah,
I
$30
know people that did it. That's a thing. That's a real thing. It's like an attachment that goes on top of your toilet.
What's up,
I
Joe
wish
Mama?
I didn't know. I do know about
Goals, my man. What's good?
What's up? You're a Trumper, right?
Yeah, dude. What's good? What happened to this event last week? Who got canceled?
What do you
Why
mean got canceled?
why are you guys beefing?
I don't want
I
to
don't
talk
know.
about the drama. We've spent like a whole week on it. I'm done.
Okay. Well, I came here to get the 411 from you, so guess
What
that's not
did-
happening.
There's a lot of
What-
videos out there. People are view farming on it. I'm sure you can find some. I'm over it.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck. I love the infighting. I love you guys canceling each other. It's pretty fun.
Oh,
The
you're
dra-
interested in accountability?
the drama's fun.
Oh, no, Joe, I think it's great that you're interested in accountability. And my suggestion is your fascination with accountability in action on the left. I would suggest you take that line of logic and what you are enjoying about that, and you extend that to your own community. Because that's what you're witnessing is accountability.
Gotcha. All right. Will do, Felice. Have a good one, everyone.
All right, girl. Oh shit! I just kicked the official channel. Please come back. I'm so sorry. Please come back.
Nothing wrong with accountability. It's just if you like what you're seeing, maybe try it on your end.
Someone on YouTube says, please bring up the definition of fascism. I think I've done it twice now on this stream. We've went through the 14 tenets of fascism, and Trump, it gets like a 10 out of 10 on each point. Hello.
Hi.
Is this the official account for the thing we're raising awareness for today?
Yes, it is. Hi, everybody. We're on our way to DC right now. Hi.
Hey.
Yay, road trip.
What's up?
Beautiful.
Oh, and we got, say hi, baby.
Look at the bub.
Baby Pitbull.
She's like, who
Oh
are
my
these people?
goodness. Oh my goodness
This
gracious.
is my anti-fascist pity precious. But yes, I wanted to come up here and thank you for what you're doing for us, Pickles. I know that you guys have been dealing with a lot of interesting characters on this live.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think I might be ending here soon. I didn't want to do it without making sure we're not like super close or something to a goal we can hit. I don't know.
Well, so, oh, bless you. So right now we're looking for any donation possible. I think as of right now, we've raised between the Give Butter and the Cash App about $365 total for the day. So I would say that that was unexpected and I'm appreciative. It did put a dent into what we needed, but we are still short on funds. So anything would be appreciative. This event is just, to honor and give our veterans everything that they deserve. So if you could find it in your hearts to donate $5, that'd be great. You can do it by texting veteran1 to 53-555. I know somebody was having trouble with that. Or go to fightagainstfascism.org and click the donate button there. This is only our first event, and we are a very small grassroots organization. So we're going to be live tonight on the Voice of Reason's podcast with all the organizers. For anybody who's looking to hear a little more later, check out the org's page. You can follow the page, and I just posted about it, and I tagged them. And honestly, just thank you, everybody. This is only the beginning, and we're very excited.
Love it. Love it. Chat,
That
please.
Cash App works too, right? Above Pickle's head. Yes. Everyone, if you can just give $5 to that Cash App, definitely let's just all give $5 right now. It will be great. Let's help. I mean, this is democracy in action, and like the real kind, right? Like not the ugly, like this is messed up. This is very simple, and we can help people go make a difference. Like let's all just give $5 right now to the Cash App right above Pickle's head, and we can make a difference. And it's a pleasure to meet you guys. I followed you. I support you in any way I can.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gumps. And Gumps is also texting the 53555 text veteran. Yeah, like so.
Yeah, veteran1.
Someone says, is there a Venmo? I don't have Cash App.
Oh, is it Veteran 1?
Yeah,
oh, it's Veteran
so
1.
The other one, veteran1. Yep, all one word. So we don't have Venmo set up. It's that or the Give Butter. The Give Butter is that's the text to donate. That'll send you a link to the app. But if you can't get the text to work, go to fightagainstfascism.com and click the donate button. It will redirect you to the Give Butter website, and you can use any method of payment there.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, chat, thank y'all so much. Thank you guys for everybody who's donated already. You guys are fucking awesome. I really appreciate it. And I am honored to be a part of this and help you guys out. This is awesome. Thank you guys for asking me to do this.
Thank you.
In the future, if I can help or whatever, just let me know. I followed you, so just reach out.
Yeah, I'm following everybody back, but yeah, there's definitely going to be more in the future. You never know. there's nothing but opportunity. We got a lot going on that needs to be addressed, and I think one of the things that my component to this is I was raised by educators, and I think that Public education being defunded is criminal and it's disgusting. And you're going to see a lot more. While we are veteran led, it will be based in education. So we've got lots of exciting things on the horizon. So I'll definitely touch base with you and let you know.
As a former teacher, don't get me started on school vouchers. I will scream about it.
You're a former teacher? Oh my God. Okay, so you'll love the next campaign we're doing. We're doing a teacher thank-a-thon.
Lose my shit over it. Promise you.
So yeah, I will definitely be in touch.
Awesome.
Pleasure to meet you. Keep on keeping on.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to hop down. I appreciate all the help and all the support you guys have given. It really means a lot. If you guys are able to, the Boar Podcast is also live streaming the event day up. And we will give that information out on the live, and I'll also post it on our link tree.
All right. Well, y'all drive safe. Y'all be safe out there. Drink lots of water.
Yes.
I'm sure if you stick next to Tom, you got good company.
You want to say bye, baby?
God,
Bye.
the dog is the star. Sorry.
She is. That's my girl. Bye, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shout out to Tiffany, Chrissy, who else? Lisa. Thank you guys for the
all the
donations. You guys are fucking rock stars. Savannah, thank you so much. Love Light, thank you so much for the Messa Rainey. Jeez Louise. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome.
Pickles, you're such an angel. Can I just say I missed your energy? You're literally like a fucking angel.
Thank you.
A very tall angel. He's like 6'5", ladies. I'm just saying. Threw it out there. But I love your energy. Doing good things. I needed this today. God. It's so easy to get bogged down in so much, like, it just feels impossible sometimes. This is like something small that makes you feel like you're making a difference. So thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah,
because it's beautiful.
Thanks for coming to hang out, even though you're sick.
I needed this. Sometimes I'm away from the internet so long, I'm scared to even go back. Gubs, don't worry. I'm feeling better. I'm getting there. It's just a long road to recovery. People are like, what happened? Nothing bad happened. I was just very sick. Like, I just work until I get sick and then I have to go away for a while. The ladies have been loving Pickles lately. I love this. Pickles doesn't even know what to do with attention from women, so it's fine. He's the perfect person to lavish it on because it's awkward and weird about it. I know I have withdrawals from you all. I'm gonna do my live tomorrow, rain or shine, I promise. Anyways, are we done? Are we wrapping up? Because I feel like I know you and your schedule. You've got places to be, people to love.
I'm probably just going to eat some food real quick. And I can't remember if I made plans tonight or not. But if not, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to come back live and do debates. And you're welcome to come back. But yeah, I don't know.
Text me. I need to eat too. I haven't eaten. I was walking around and then I don't know what's going on. Probably take a nap. Thank you guys so much for having me. I missed you guys all. You guys have an amazing community. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I shall see you all later. Thanks, Pickles.
Anytime. Thank you, Felice. Chat, thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the support. I love y'all. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night if I don't see y'all, though. And be safe. Be good. Bye.